Okay. Third time was a charm. Alright. Let's get going. Rabbit holes abound.
Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going on from the offshoots of the Sykkuno situation. Now, obviously, if you don't know, the Sykkuno situation has been a huge one that's been blowing up over on Twitter lately, and there's been many people coming out with their own kind of stories and like I guess, interactions with him, which have been ranging from bad to not bad and just a casual interaction, but obviously it starts to make sense, the fact that they're a VTuber, or they already post online themselves online on Twitter and stuff like that. Of course it tends to add up for some people, but obviously there's one VTuber, obviously Powder, who made a post on it, which we actually covered in a previous video, saying, ladies, you're not special, we're all special, and obviously put a screenshot of a DM that she had with Sykkuno, where essentially they called for 3 hours, and she says, here, we just played a game, don't get any funny ideas, and she put the context lol and put Muujin's video. Now, of course, this has now gotten even crazier, as recently Powder put out a what do you call it, like a follow-up, I guess, post behind this, talking about it, saying, can you criticize him for cheating? Absolutely, but never once did I feel manipulated by this dude. He's a huge flirt, but I was incredibly aware of his power dynamic. Also, he was just friendly. He's quite forward with his riz, which I didn't like being around. Gave me player vibes. Am I gonna flip out at him? No. Usually when someone is like that, they're already talking to multiple people, which, yeah, I think it's fair enough, right? I think this first paragraph is fine. A lot of people are very mentally, strong. They don't get, like fooled easily by people that like to flirt with a lot of people, like to, kind of go around and, try to get with a lot of people, which of course, as I said, everyone's different in their ways to kind of be able to detect that, and their kind of, I guess, social awareness whenever it comes to those kind of situations. Obviously, Powder is one that can kind of, identify that pretty quickly. And of course, yeah, she says she feels is she gonna flip out at him? No. But obviously she said that she doesn't really like people that are quite forward with that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's usually it's pretty obvious that they're talking to multiple people, and there are people out there that are like that, right? I've known people that are like that are like, damn, yeah, you are definitely talking to a lot of people, and you don't want to go anywhere near that, right? And of course that's fine, and also some people were like, yeah, sure, I'll go for that, which again, that sometimes it happens too. But yeah, obviously they continue on saying, I see some women trying to play the victim as if they didn't have a brain in the situation. Also saw people throwing around the word predator. I think it's unreasonable. Muujin never was really a reliable narrator. If a larger creator who is friendly asks you to play a game with you, would you say no? And obviously, yeah, I think this is one of these kind of situations now where a lot of people have been discussing, was he preying on people? Was he being a quote-unquote predator towards these VTubers and smaller creators, right? By obviously getting in the DMs, kind of doing whatever. Obviously, as we saw with the Himamo kind of Google Doc, kind of flirting with her pretty heavily, selling her money, talking about moving in and all of this kind of stuff. And as well as him, doing it to multiple people as well. I think obviously some people are wondering, is this kind of predatory behavior or not? Because obviously predator can be a term that can be kind of misconstrued sometimes. A lot of people think, obviously predator, they associate it with PDFs, because of course, there are, child predators are known as them, right? But there's also other kind of predators as well, which, prey on people that are, obviously smaller than them, which obviously is what they're trying to claim, at least, right?
That's
and again,
the
it has been
difference.
very heavily debated whether that is the case or not, and you can, agree or disagree whether that is the case or not with this one, because of course, obviously his target was people that were, smaller than him, and or like creators that were smaller than him, and would be infatuated with the fact that, a bigger streamer wants to play a game with me, a bigger streamer wants to talk to me, etc. And obviously that would be used to then, obviously get with them or whatever that he wanted to do, right? Now, of course, some people wouldn't have a problem with that, but, obviously some people are also talk about the cheating on top of that, and all of this stuff as well. And obviously, yeah, you know, Powder puts the last question there saying, if a larger creator who is friendly asked to play a game with you, would you say no? And 9 times out of 10, people, yeah, they wouldn't say no, right? And obviously, she talks about the fact that, you know, I see some women trying to say that they, you know, play the victim as if they didn't have a brain in the situation. And I do think that's true, right? Obviously, there's plenty of women out there who know what they were doing. And we actually see that pretty evidently through a lot of the messages that more people come out with Sykkuno. There's been many tweets that have come out of people saying that he messaged them once, maybe they talked a little bit, and then they felt weirded out, or they felt like something wasn't right, or like, you know, he was being a bit overly flirty, and then they left the conversation, right? That was also a case. So there are plenty of people out there who obviously used their brains, went, okay, there's something weird going on here, and left that thing. But obviously some people don't, and I think that is just down to, you know, a personal thing. I think sometimes people can get a little bit carried away, and sometimes, you know, yeah, they can get too heavily infatuated with you know, people. And that's why we saw Himamo in the last clip, in the last video, of her saying, like, you know, oh, she believes in second chances and stuff after obviously cheating on his girlfriend and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, sometimes it is one of those things where, you know, she's been incredibly attached to him for a while. But again, you know, you can agree, disagree, or whatever with this statement, but essentially Muujin had responded to this one, essentially saying, can you criticize him for cheating? Absolutely, but I had no views whatsoever and became desperate after trying everything to become relevant, so I chose to appeal to people who hate my gender in order to pay rent. Now, obviously, he's referring to Powder here, which I think is pretty crazy, because this is a pretty crazy crusher. I'm gonna be real. You know, this is one of these things where it's like, whoa, you know, calm down a little bit. Like, I don't know if we need to go this far. Saying, I had no, sorry, I'm gonna flip on a serial cheater who had sex with women without telling them that they'd be homewreckers. Of course not. Morals are not an obstacle to my income. Muujin was never really a reliable narrator, so when his video eventually comes out about me being cancelled by my audience for secretly having dated a black guy, even though I keep saying that I can't stand minorities, please don't trust him. Also, English is my first language, and I have no idea that predator can mean a person or organization that uses weaker people for their own advantage. But it's okay, my audience gobbles up anything I say anyways, dumbass simps Lamau. So again, obviously, that is what he had to say in response to Powder. Bro's mad. Like,
Big time mad.
And again, I think maybe it's a little bit of an unwarranted
It's a self-report.
Of course, you can disagree with Powder. You know,
The ultimate self-report.
But you know, I think this is a bit far, right? Saying like things like, oh, you know, it's gonna come out that secretly she dated a black guy or whatever. Like, like, bro, like seriously, let's be real here. But again, obviously, it's got 600,000 views and. Yeah, a lot of people aren't really liking this one. I'm gonna be honest. You know, Muujin is usually pretty well liked, especially whenever it comes to the original video that he made on the whole situation, right? Obviously, that all came out here, right? This was pretty well received, 14k. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's okay received. 14k, 3.9 million views. But again, this one, people didn't think he kind of, you know, he hit the mark on this one. But essentially, Powder responded saying, damn, you're like really bad, lol. Obviously ratioing the tweet quite heavily, saying, also, stop fetishizing me in a mixed race relationship, you fuck, what gross behavior. Which obviously, yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, right? I do think it's a little bit weird to start speculating about people's relationships and who they're in a relationship with. Which again, I mean, bro, I just don't think this crash out really needed to happen, right? I just don't think it really needed to you know, I don't think this really needs to be said, right? Obviously,
She
said,
dog
oh
walked him into that one
Muujin,
big
take a
time.
step back. What she said wasn't even unreasonable or a personal attack. You rage baited yourself in this one. It's fair IMO to criticize the usage of dangerous predator in the post. You should know better as well. You know what it's trying to imply, which again, of course, yeah, I think that's fair enough, right? I think it is fair enough that, you know, there is this kind of, I guess, stigma behind the word of like predator and all this kind of stuff. That, you know, many people will think it's way worse, you know, than the actual meaning that they're trying to give off here. But of course, you know, some people are arguing potentially, you know, that was the effect that they were trying to give off, which again, I think, you know, could be true, right? So again, many people debating obviously that word, and obviously Deme, yeah, saying like it's a fair enough criticism, right? And I do think it is a fair enough criticism, right? Saying you're taking this unbiased reporting a bit too personally, aren't you? Again, 100% true. saying the amount of buzzwords in this puke of a tweet just to describe what it comes down to is the simple word cheater is hilarious. W Powder say a woman didn't step in line, better drop the SIM card, which of course, yeah, 100% true. So what said, if you were a woman, I'd tell you to change your tampon. Jesus Christ. But since you're a man, I'll tell you to wash the taste of blank out of your mouth instead. It's making you sound like a moron. It said, I had no viewers whatsoever and became desperate after trying everything to be relevant. You just tried to shit on another creator by colluding with one of the worst Google Docs ever created, and you did this because you wanted to have the exclusive for views. What did this girl promise you that you seem to be willing to ruin your reputation for her? All of these spurgouts, is that spurgouts, really make you look like a condescending I can't say that word. People said you have super AIDS. Give up there, bro. And they beat your ass in the quote retweets. And yeah, it seems like people are not happy with this response that Muujin has given, and I think that's fair enough.
You can't say that word.
Crash out pretty heavily. You got like Legal Mindset here saying, I used to perceive Muujin as a professional, but he's lost that in his handling of the Sykkuno situation. Sykkuno situation. Now downplaying the seriousness of labeling someone a predator by presenting the mild definition is hard cope. Everyone knows the real implication
also,
behind.
he kind of skirted past it a little bit. The Kirsha posting the rabbit is very, very, very potent here. This is great.
So this is amazing.
It's like one of the Muujin files dropping.
Coordinating a hit piece on a crazy BPD girl who still wants to sleep with the predator instead of him. Again, I don't know if she's BPD. Maybe again, I haven't done any research on this. Maybe they are. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's saying that as a general vibe.
Muujin, Dr. Drop.
Yep.
It said Lamau. The period cards, leave her alone. Sorry you had to see that, ladies. I just get so passionate about feminism. So yeah, obviously a lot of people been making fun of him and all of this kind of stuff. And I do think, it is a pretty crazy, response to have to this, especially whenever, I think she was correcting quite a bit of that tweet there, right? So yeah, I mean, people are not happy with him. And of course, a lot of people have been also bringing up his unbiased nature in regards to, the fact that he obviously coordinated a video to be made on this, right? This was known before, all of this came out, because of course Muujin released a video very shortly after the actual doc came out, the tweet came out, which means obviously he's been working on it in the background. Obviously,
he's been sitting on this information
as well. So obviously there was some kind of coordination behind the scenes to get a video out about all of this kind of stuff, which I think is fair enough. But I think with Muujin's style, right, I just don't think it really makes sense, right? With Muujin's style of video, his usual style of video is big thing drops, and me and other people cover it, right, whenever, as soon as it drops, and then Muujin waits it out for like a month maybe, and then obviously covers it later on whenever you have the full picture, because of course there's always things that come out. If, for example, he's going to miss out on a lot of things here, including potentially a Sykkuno response, as well as, a kind of, I don't know what you call it, like the accounts of other people, right? The accounts of people that have had interactions with them. He's missing those out because they don't come until after he uploads his video, or after that kind of tweet comes out. So again, I think it is a little bit, weird, because usually his style of video is, kind of get the whole situation into one, and that's what gives him the unbiased kind of nature, right? Because of course, he gets the kind of everything involved. With me, for example, I cover the thing that drops, and then maybe like the next day someone releases a response, and then we cover that the next day, right? Whereas him, he includes everything into one video, which of course makes it seem a lot more, I guess, well-rounded, because of course you have both sides of the argument there for people to make a kind of opinion on, which obviously isn't the case in this situation. Now, of course, Sykkuno hasn't responded yet, but as I said, usually Muujin is one to wait, maybe a month or so, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and then obviously make the video once all of the kind of information is out there. But again, there's a lot of information that hasn't been covered in that, which is just like against his usual style of video, which sometimes I find a little bit odd. But again, obviously maybe he's just trying to do something to do with his content. I'm not sure, but all I can say though is people are not happy at all with this one tweet in response to Powder. But yeah, essentially that is all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.
Change you out to blue. Oh god. Oh, almost erased my build. I would have been so fucking upset. Oh, man. That was glorious.
Alright, let's do it. Is the female gaze real? Both are hot. I don't know about that. I'm not a furry.
Extra Tug is $1 a week. It is $1 a week, and you get exclusive content. You get a lot of cool things. I mean, what are you spending $1 a week on? Gumballs?
Gumballs, yeah.
You know, and I'm putting a lot of work
I like
in here.
gumballs.
ExtraTug.com, exclusive content. Check it out.
Women, what's going on there? What
A lot. Women are not okay. I don't think anybody's okay at this point, though.
a confusing concept. The majority of my adolescent life was spent trying to get any attention from women as a group. And this becomes
Yeah.
frustrating because as a man, especially
Women are so fucking hard to read. Even as a woman myself, I just can't tell what women want sometimes. They're so difficult.
a young man, I still have no clue as to what attracts them. I have a girlfriend. She loves me very much. She'll see me without my clothes on and say, "Good God, that's the best."
Holy
Now,
shit, he's a hairy man!
think you're mentally
God
ill, and I'm
damn,
so
is that
lucky to have
filter?
accidentally tricked you into loving me. Because the female gaze is very different from the male gaze. Now, I'm not
You know, that's kind of a funny one because girls do like looking at other girls' boobs even if they're straight. Yeah, like boobs are nice.
talking about what
They're
men
great.
see in women, because what men see in women is big bazongas, and we high-five each other. But when a man sees another man, we don't understand why a woman would find a certain man attractive. Think of Thor in the Marvel movies. I cannot,
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth. Think of Thor.
Okay.
We think, okay, that's what a woman wants. Big muscles, tall boy, blonde hair,
sure.
blue eyes, beautiful. There's literally nothing wrong with this man. And then a woman with a straight face will look you dead in the eye and say she'll do anything to have sex with James A. Caster. Whatever that would.
I mean, he's just an average-looking guy. I mean, look, I've seen guys say that like really attractive like girls and also mousy kind of girls are attractive too. I think girls are just being honest too. He's structured. I don't think he's bad looking. Like, I feel like some people fucking have a type. Yeah, he's got a great jaw. I mean, like, I don't know, some people like that shit.
Mousy comedian guy, and you're like, what is going on? I don't
Mousy
understand.
comedian guy, he's got a fucking huge jaw though.
Mousy comedian guy, and you're like, what is going on? I don't understand this. Now, the female gaze is something that has been talked about all over social media, especially recently when discussing the women of Euphoria, and every film person's Letterboxd account when watching the portrait of a lady on fire. Now, to my knowledge, the male and female gaze differ between the two, and what is the attraction to the person, who they are, and also how good they look up when their arms are rolled up on their sleeves.
No comment. No comment.
That's something that I don't understand, but women will explain to you. And the
Women, I would boil it down to like female psychology is that like if you can fucking beat up some fucking man,
The other is how big can I make this rack on a superhero girl? Or how veiny can I make this man's arms when I draw him?
I thought he was gonna say something else. Yo, this video's kind of strange. I thought you were gonna say something else. Whoa!
Now let's figure out which one is which. Spoiler, the ladies care about arms and the men like big songs. Now, according to this Reddit post I was looking for research, the definition of the female gaze is as follows. Inherent in the concept of the male gaze is the idea that the perspective of the audience is male, and it looks at women as objects of desire and objects for use, rather than as human beings with their own goals and motives just like men. Okay.
Bro, there's so many girls on fucking Twitter talking about how they want to use Leon Kennedy after the game came out. I don't want to hear this. Women do the same shit as men.
So, misogyny. Women are not socialized to consider men objects in this way. Men are culturally defined as default human beings. And
No,
women
they're just viewed as wallets. Yeah, you guys are all walking wallets. What do you mean?
are socialized to view men as protagonists and choice makers, the ones who engage in actions, not the ones acting upon. Girls are encouraged to identify with every man characters, even when they're boys. Boys are rarely encouraged to read girl stories and aren't inclined to identify with female characters, so it's different.
If I didn't like a story with a boy in it, I just didn't watch it. Is that cooked? Like, if I had a Cartoon Network show that was like, I just didn't watch it. I probably didn't know why, but it was probably my bias as like a little kid that I couldn't identify with the show. Which, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, it's just your basic psychology. You look at something, if you don't want to relate to it, or you can't relate to it, then you'll just turn it off and watch something else. It's not that fucking big of a deal. What is this, rocket science?
Made me sad, because all of that's very true, and I never really thought about it, but holy... A girl reading Percy Jackson is a girl who likes books. A boy reading... I can't even name a girl book. That's more about me not reading books, but it's all perspective. Now, the purpose of this video is, one, I don't know...
My brother, when he was a little kid, I remember he was like maybe like 6 or 7 years old. When he was about 7 years old, he wanted to be a ballerina and he got bullied relentlessly for it to the point where he just like quit. Yeah, he went to ballet classes. Yeah.
Thought about anything. Do we want to get that out clear? I made that clear in a lot.
No.
The dentists are very mad at me for one of my more recent videos. But I thought it would be fun to go through some examples of the female gaze phenomenon and then rank them based on what I believe is what people would think looking through the female gaze. I'm ranking how female gaze. Now it sounds like G-A-Y-S. I'm ranking how much female gaze are these people.
Just say
You guys understand
D.
the concept?
This
Please,
is
for
a
the
good
love of God,
game.
tell
I
me.
like
Maybe
this.
Chris can put
I like having this male perspective and him trying to understand it.
something up on the screen
like
that makes it
this.
simpler, but he probably can't because I'm not explaining this well. But we're ranking
No, I
people on
get
how
it.
female gaze they are. Now, before we jump in on the ranking, let's do some examples of male versus female gaze so we can all get together here. Male gaze, Captain America. Yeah. Definitely Captain America. I mean, that's as male gaze as it gets, I would assume. Chris Evans. Someone once said I look like Chris Evans if he died in a lake and showed up in a river 2 weeks later. I always say that, but I think that's the funniest thing
bloated.
anyone has ever said about my appearance. But at least they thought I looked like Chris Evans at one point. You know what I mean? And
That's
that's the male
kinda
gaze.
nice.
I would
That's
love
a
to be
good
Chris Evans. The
compliment.
female gaze version of this is Loki. Although there is, he did get ripped for some shirtless scenes, but like, he's like a little slimy man. He reminds me of a Astorian, I think, from
Women love villains. Yeah, like I think that's definitely it. That's why I like Astalor in the new WoW expansion, and freaking this guy, Dude, Astarion. Yeah, they like villains. You gotta be a little bit evil. You gotta have a little bit of like toxicity to you. It's kind of like why people like
It's kind of why they make so many bad decisions. 'Cause they like being treated like shit and then complaining about it.
fantasy boys and girls. Like it's okay to like a little bit of crazy, because after all, it's just a fantasy.
Loves that dude, like wants to have sex with him, and I hate him. I think he's a whiny, snivelly little bitch, and that's kind of what he wants. You know what I mean? Alright, moving on. I think a great superhero example of the male versus female gaze is Henry Cavill versus David Cornsweat. Is that how you say his last name? That cannot be right. I've heard it a million times, but yeah,
Well, apparently it
What
is.
a name. You're sweaty corn. I love that. But Henry Cavill was all about being masculine and having his shirt off sometimes. He just so handsome with a chiseled jaw. Meanwhile, David Cornsweat's character, even though he is one of the most beautiful people on earth, he's more about his emotions. And now he has a relationship with Lois Lane, and now he's struggling to have.
Yeah, women like I'm not being that fucking obvious, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult because like I know some people will argue and say like, oh, women don't like it when you're like not a 6'5" fucking chiseled dude, but like if you're a funny fucking guy, it makes up for a lot of you. If you have good charisma and you're really funny, it bumps you up to like at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 points. Like if you're a 5, you can go all the way up to an 8, depending on how charismatic you are. That's why you see people who are like actors and stuff, even though I don't think it's a great one-to-one because it's a status thing on top of that. But like people who aren't exactly like super duper attractive, who are still really, really funny and very, very charismatic and entertaining, that have like a fucking attractive wife.
You know what I mean? Probably, maybe not. I don't understand the female gaze, but I understand where this is coming from. I think one of the best examples of female gaze is Schmidt. No, not Schmidt. What's the other one? It's New Girl. Nick Miller, the character of Nick Miller in New Girl. That is the female gaze. And
It's like a normal dude to me.
a lot of people used to tell me I acted like Nick Miller before I watched the show, and now no one says that anymore. And that hurts, because now I realize that was hot. They were calling you hot, and now that's not the case anymore. I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna talk more. And also Nick Miller is especially attractive. But, you know, it's more about how he acts than what he looks. That's what the female gaze is. Not just this. That's what men want. We just want this. Girls want what's inside.
That's why when you read, if you ever like go out of your way to read like fucking woman novels, oh my god, don't do it. Like I read them a couple of times.
It's
and
just
I thought, like,
smut.
to myself, like, Jesus Christ, this is awful writing. It's all about like their actions and how they talk about the female protagonist and shit like that. Whereas with like males, if they're going to like beat off to like, I don't know, some fucking corn or something, it's all about the visuals. Women are very much like mental, how do I put it? Like they just want to like talk about their fucking feelings. They do. It makes them feel good. That's why girls fucking love foreplay and shit. Guys can just like instantly get into it. Girls, they need the build up. Definitely.
Comes to Disney, male gaze would be Gaston, female gaze is Flynn Rider, who is just a pretty girl. Flynn Rider is just a pretty girl who happens to be a man. Now that we have the male versus the female gaze down, let us jump into me actually trying to get this, because all of that was told to me by my producer Anna. So now it's just up to me, and we're gonna see how off. Let's talk to the ladies in the comments are gonna rip me apart, because I'm gonna see what's up. Up first we have Powell from Howl's Moving Castle. Now I've only seen clips of this. I'm not a big.
He has the voice actor for the English version of it is Christian Bale, and he's an attractive actor. I think this is a little bit biased too, because girls fucking love hot voices. I guess guys do too. Yeah, like when a character from Zenless Zone Zero has like a fucking hot mommy voice, I think guys like it too. I think that's a little bit, yeah, dark and brooding. Yeah.
Ghibli guy. I'm gonna be honest.
Attractive male behavior is cool. No, if you're attractive and you do something cringeworthy, girls will like brush it off because you're just being like fumbly and cute around them. But if
They'll say corny in all the right ways.
HR department.
Get over that you'll get beat up if you like anime sense of my childhood. Now anime is mainstream, so it's pretty normal to watch this shit, but I still have to get over it. It's voiced by Christian Bale, which is hot. And if I remember anything from the movie, he's very like he's like a monster, but he's very loving. And girls love monsters. Is that wrong?
He's so on point with that. bro, just go to any fucking book. Go to Target if you have a Target nearby. Next time you go to the Target section, I saw it myself the other day. I went to Target and I was going into the electronics section, and the electronics section is kinda near where the books are. I walked past it, walked along the wall, and I saw in the distance #book talk, and I was like, bro, they literally have an entire section dedicated to this shit. How fucked is that?
For me to say, I've seen this shit you write in your Wattpads. You want to have sex with monsters that love you. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 on the female gaze.
And that's another thing. It's the same version of like, I can fix him, but it's a monster. And that's what women like try to justify with like, you know, reading these novels and stuff. Yeah, like they want to fix the big scary monster, and it's soft on the inside.
Because he's like this awful thing, but he actually turns out he has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. I might be completely off here, but that's what I'm getting from this. Next up, Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. That's a tough one. Young
Isn't he like a kid in the first one?
Hiccup. I mean, he gets older and he gets like hot physically, but he is a human it. You know what I mean? Like in the early things, like, oh, he talks like, oh, I'm Hiccup. Like he's just like, he always moves with his hands and stuff. But once at the end of the first movie and he figures it out, that's kind of sick. Like he's always stuck to his plan. He's got goals. He's not like the other bike.
Yeah, but there's also like an argument to be had that a lot of women who are stupid, which there are a lot of them, they don't want to stick around with a guy that's a project. Like, I think I feel
That
like
is
a lot
actually
of
the bigger
people
problem.
take that, and I think like that's the problem with relationships nowadays from both sides. Actually, is that you don't want to like stick around with something. You want the end product. You want the instant gratification. Yeah, they want to glow up immediately. They want this like in the fantasy, but they don't want it in real life. Some women do want a project. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think there's like a lot of people that don't mind it, but like I think with social media, it's become a lot worse, and they don't want to like work on themselves or work with someone else as well.
Getting sent in the second movie, he's still f***ing up, and he also, like, I think he's very mean to his girlfriend in a way that he, like, I don't know, you can see he gets in the way of himself. But I do, female gaze-wise, I'd probably give him a 6. I think 6 is fair. If it was male gaze, 3. But female gaze, I think, you know, if he wasn't so goddamn stubborn, he has a lot to give.
I'm not invested. I can't give an opinion on him.
He needs to get out of his own way. And I think girls don't like that. Who knows? I'm so talking out of my ass here. Nick Wilde from Zootopia. Well, this is just something
I'm not a fucking furry though.
we have to live
And
with.
no, you can't fucking say, oh my god, you're a fox girl. This is literally furry territory. I'm a fox girl. I'm not a fox. This dude is literally a fox.
With, I guess.
She would have just said it in reverse. She would have had it.
A furry female gaze. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I know a lot of people want to have sex with the fox. I know a lot of people want to have sex with about funny. I don't know why they made her thick. They gave her an ass. Sorry for noticing. But he is a shyster. He is a kind of a piece of shit. At the end, he's very father-like towards Judy, which I could see, and he's very sweet, and he learns his lessons. I haven't seen the second one, don't know what happens. I don't know, I'd probably give it a 4. I might be wrong about this one. I mean, he's very suave and shit, but he's kind of an asshole. And, like, I don't know. I feel like girls wouldn't. Oh, there's the class.
It's the attitude, yeah, for sure. I think the attitude helps a lot.
They're like, go, the nice guy finishes last. But like, I don't know. Seems like a not chill dude. So I'll give it a 4. Let me know in the comments down below. Might be completely wrong there. Milo from Atlantis. 10 fingies up. That is the female gaze ad nauseum. Super passionate about his interests. Very well educated. Got a little bit of a twink thing going on. Like a little wiry body, but still in shape. The big glasses, the 90s split hair, which my hair just does naturally, and I'm so sick of it. I think it looks dorky, but it looks great on him. He stutters all the time. I mean, he's voiced by Michael J. Fox.
But Akita, though, chat,
who is the best speaker of all time. I could listen to him read a
Akita,
novel, and he
though.
doesn't have like a good, deep, like beautiful voice. He's just always the Michael J. Fox. Like he's always just
she's
like kind of
hot.
working his way through a sentence, which I think people love. But once again, like the way he treats that unbelievably hot Atlantis girl, like he really
Yeah.
cares about her. You know what I mean? This is the pinnacle.
and he doesn't treat her like an object like everybody else does in the movie, even though that's like an underlying thematic thing, because everybody views her as like, oh, she's like a novelty and stuff, and he like sees inside her and she's just another person. That movie's goated. Yeah, I think genuinely like Atlantis should have been one of the top 10 like movies for Disney. They really shit the bed on that one. For like I think it was like marketing. I guess it wasn't really marketable. Such a good movie.
Female gaze, absolutely. Nightwing from Teen Titans. I don't know. He's got a fat ass. I don't know anything about it.
Whoa, what? I didn't even know that. What?
Nightwing from Teen Titans. I didn't care about Teen Titans that much. I don't think he's not in the original like cartoon show. That's Robin. They might be the same people. I don't know. I don't know Marvel.
They are the same person.
Superheroes, but sure.
He's like a dark, brooding guy. You know what I mean? From
Conventionally attractive, brooding, emo guy. Sure, yeah.
the male gaze, I'll give it a
His
7,
ass
and then
is
you
fat,
fill
I
in the
wouldn't
female
know.
parts there, because I have no idea.
You
Now
guys-
let's
you
move
guys
on to
can
the real
testify
people,
to it.
because I don't know why we started out with cartoons. But we're moving on to the real people now, and the first one is the priest from Fleabag. 10 out of 10. Have you guys seen Fleabag? Fleabag season 2 is
No.
the most, I don't want to say chick flick, but it's like the most I've ever felt ladylike while watching
Isn't that,
a show. Because I want to
Ladylike.
marry the priest.
What's her
Okay,
face's
no, I wanna
only
be the priest, I
success?
guess. Spoilers, I'm going to talk about it real quick. If you haven't seen it, just stop watching this video and
I
go
don't
watch it.
know.
But like,
I
he's a
don't think I'll
priest, and
watch
he's
it,
just
but
like
sure.
talking this girl through some shit, and she like falls in love with him, and then he's like,
Okay. I will be right back. Impromptu.
She's like, I love you. And he goes, it'll pass. And he's got like an Irish accent. Oh my God, it's so good. But like from a male gaze, he's not attractive. He just like notices her in a way that is
He's just
so
conventionally
romantic. I mean, the
attractive.
fourth wall breaks. You guys know what I'm talking about. He notices her in a way that's just like almost magic. It makes me so happy. And it makes, I'm assuming, the female gaze raunchy. Dude, I can't imagine somebody who would do that better. And plus, he's like forbidden fruit. Like, he's not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to do this. Like, 10 out of 10
Yeah,
female gaze.
that's a big part,
Mr. Darcy
actually,
from
you're
Pride and
right.
Prejudice. Now,
For the forbidden fruit angle, like Romeo and Juliet type shit, yeah, fucking chicks like that. Wow.
put a picture of this man
Oh,
with his
yeah.
sideburns. Conventionally hideous, might I say. Just like, not a big, just not
What? Bro, am I fried?
attractive. But look up the definition of yearning just in the dictionary. There is a picture of this goofy man next to it. This man loves and wants more than any other human
I think my index is cooked. Like, I am not fucking picky, bro. It's like a 6. I guess. He's right, he's pretty gross. He's a 6. No, shut the fuck up. Don't fucking type that. I'm not reading that out loud.
being ever has, and that's why women love him. My girlfriend and Mr. Darcy go way back. It's an obsession that
Yeah, isn't this from like a fucking British drama, probably? I can see it now, though.
I did not understand could be an obsession until I met my girlfriend. There's a reason why women love Pride and Prejudice, fellas, and it's because there's a character in that book that gives a woman something that a real woman will never get, and it's a man who gives a the entire time. So
That's so funny to me.
oh, 10 out of 10 once again. Maybe 9 out of 10. No, probably 10 out of 10.
True,
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of 10 out of 10s on here. Now let's move away from characters and let's move to real life
You don't have to
celebrities
give a
and see
fuck
how
all
much
the
this hits. Pedro
time.
Pascal
I'm gonna
is
get
a
mad.
weird one. I don't know.
I can't answer for this because I think he's such a fucking douchebag. Like in real life now that I think he's ugly. Even though he's not physically ugly, I think he's ugly now. I thought he was such a good actor in Game of Thrones. I thought he was awesome. I thought he did such a good job. He really got into it. But now that I found out that he's like a fucking insufferable fucking prick, I can't watch him. I just think he's ugly. He's ugly on the outside to me.
I mean, he's very
and
conventionally
inside.
handsome, but he doesn't act like how you want a leading man in Hollywood to act. He's goofy. He's a goofball. He's a little sassy. You know what I mean? Like, he's very
But Tug doesn't know that,
anxiety
maybe.
forward and very, not PC, what's the word I'm looking for? Very liberal. He fights for rights of other people. And also, look at his arms. Girls love a good forearm, I'll be honest with
They
you. So
do,
all that
yeah,
being said, he's
true.
not fantasy. So he's not going to be as big as the other guys, but I'll probably give it between a 6.5 and a
Attainable.
7 out of 10, just because he's still a dude, like through and through, and I think the female gaze is pretty against just, this is going to sound like anti-feminist, but like just being a dude is a demerit. I think any woman could agree with that, because at the end of the day, this guy does sit on the couch for like 4 hours at a time and doesn't clean. Why are you just sitting there? Holy we got shit to do. And he's like, I'll give it a minute. Like Pedro Pascal has done that to a woman at one point, and you're thinking about that, right? And you're thinking,
No,
that's a demerit, because he is
He has been the woman in that scenario. Not done that to the woman.
a dude at the end of the day. So 6.5 out of 10. Hudson Williams. Once again, this is just a woman who's a man, and that's what women love. I mean, look how fancy, beautiful, sexy, but not like masculine sexy. Like she's slippery. I don't know anything about Hudson
Slippery?
Williams. I'm just
Oh, like roguish? Yeah, I can see that. Girls love a roguish type. I think actually I could probably break this down even better. There's like archetypes that kind of almost match classes. Does that make sense? Like there's the slippery rogue, there's the hoity mage, there's the, I don't fucking know, like the warrior fucking type, you know what I'm saying? I think guys can fit into those archetypes.
slippery. I don't know anything about Hudson Williams. I'm just looking at a picture of him. Hair perfect, face so youthful. Just a little bit of a Twinkie energy. Twinkie. And
Twinkie?
I think ladies like that. I'm not sure. A certain amount of
do.
women like that. Internet women like that. So I'll give it maybe 6. I don't know. Could be a piece of shit. Could be an asshole. Could be a womanizer. We don't know. I don't know. Matthew Gray Gubler? That's not how you pronounce that. Gubler? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. But this is the guy
He
from
called him Goobler.
what's that show? Forensic Files? No. It's one of those murder shows. Chris, please put it on the screen. Even while watching this show, I wanted to have sex with this man. For sure. 'Cause he's like a little bit of like a dork, like keeps to himself, and he's like, oh, by the way, here's the perfect piece of information, and a little snide quip, and then I'll go back to my own thing. Oh, you want to talk to me? Oh, okay, I guess I'll talk. And then he's like really suave because he's just like too shy.
That's what I'm saying though. Like he's literally pointing out my fucking point though. Like it doesn't matter if you don't find them. Like I don't find the guy super
Tracking
attractive, but I'm
projectile.
just saying, like if I saw him talking on the screen, I would probably change my mind and maybe bump it up a little bit more because he's charismatic. He's probably suave in the show. Yeah.
But perfectly, I don't know. I love
Oh,
him
you
so
need a
much. Every guy
tracking?
in the early 2000s wanted to be him.
I don't
every
think she
woman
has
wanted to be
one.
with him, and he is the perfect person. This is the female gaze, 9 out of 10. We have Hosier. I still don't know how to pronounce it. He's
Nope.
a tall Irish man with beautiful flowing hair, and he sings perfect love songs, yearning love songs, and he's shy,
Women
and he
love
doesn't
yearning.
say anything
Chat,
that
remember, bitches love yearning.
anything controversial.
You have to take it in stride though. Bitches love yearning, but you can't fucking suffocate them. You have to be kind of like you ever have a cat and it acts aloof, and then it comes up to you and like bumps your legs? Yeah, that's like a cat thing.
And he's just like kind of quiet and perfect. 10 out of 10. How does it get better than that? And this last one was Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. Now I do believe Anna put herself in.
He's so funny though. Like he plays the dumb fucking himbo like kind of like really well though.
Here. I feel like that's a little thing between her and God, not a thing between me and my
Yeah, he's
audience.
really
But correct me if I'm
funny.
wrong. Maybe Phil Dunphy.
And that's
I mean,
what I mean. He's kind of like he's like average attractiveness. I think he's on the older side. Maybe he'd look a little bit better. Maybe when he was a little bit younger, maybe like 10, 15 years. I think he's on the older side. But he's like a good like dad where it's like he bumps up his like fucking charisma by like at least 2 to 3 points. Like if you say average like 5, he's like an 8. He can go up to an 8 because he's so funny.
his beekeeping age. He's
the guy that voices Nick in Zootopia. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. This is why a lot of girls want to bang the fucking stupid fox.
handsome. He cares about his
Yeah.
family a lot. All he wants to do is love other people. From a male standpoint, I think he's very attractive. Male gaze-wise, I'd probably say a 7 out of 8 out of
gaze.
10 in terms of the attractiveness scale. I can't talk, but I would like to.
Gaze.
This is what I'm gonna throw to the audience, the female audience, all 2 of you. How do you guys think about Phil Dunphy? Like, is that a big
Phil
ooga
Dunphy?
booga thing, or is it like a what is Anna talking about? I'm genuinely curious. So those are all the ones
I'd learn to be a himbo. Kirsha would like that. I think she's expressed that she likes fucking. She likes himbos.
I have time for today. I would like to know any other examples you have in the comments of like.
I need a man who's smarter than me. I'm already fucking. I'd like to think I'm pretty smart.
True female gaze, the purest of
Himbo's
its
nice,
form.
but,
And I
like-
just want to learn more. That's all I'm trying to do,
So
guys. That's why I have
anyone-
this career,
okay,
to
sure,
learn from women.
whatever.
I don't talk, I listen when a woman's in the room. Unless they're getting yappy, right, fellas? High five, Chris. Yeah, Chris is in on that
High
joke,
five,
for sure.
woo!
Right here, Chris. Put a hand right here, because you're sexist, and I want to get you on board of that. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. And also, Nextratug. Check out extratug.com. $4 a month. You get a bunch of shit. You get a video a week. That's usually it's shit that I can't put on this platform, so it's usually dirty or
True.
dark or whatever the we just talked about
YouTube is
Waco,
cringe
Texas.
like
That was
that,
crazy. And you get your name at the end of the video,
Extratug.
and you get to support me. And
Aw,
sometimes you
how
get
nice.
discounts. You check it out. Maybe we're
Everyone
running a
wants the
discount right
dumb
now.
fox.
Go check
Yeah,
out the
I'm the
website.
dumb
You only find
fox.
out if you go over there. So, thank you guys. Have a good one. Bless your hearts. Bye-bye.
Alana standards are lower than the Mariana Trench. But you need
Jesus.
to go back to school if you're gonna try and burn me, okay? If you're gonna say standards, like, go on. Standards. Marinara Trench.
You say better.
Damn! No, that was fun. I like that. I learned a lot from chat. I learned that women do be
Let's watch this dangerous one first. I think they are going to damage so many of us, including just women in general. I feel like they are.
Wrong. You are dangerous. In fact, you might be the most dangerous thing. Here's why. What she said was, men are dangerous and will hurt women. Now, she doesn't mean all men. She means only the men who she believes to have power over her in her country, presumably the United States from her accent. And we know that she's not talking about all men because she would never say something so unkind about, for example, illegal immigrants who
True.
are not dangerous. She can correct me herself if I got that wrong. Here's a map of
But she
travel
won't.
safety
Man.
by country. See all these different colors? Green is a top score, although that was in 2013. Here's an updated map. Most dangerous countries for women 2024. Darker is safer. United States, doing pretty good. And typically, the men who live in a country tend to protect the women who live in a country from anybody outside the country. That's how things go.
mean-
So when she says
I mean, I don't know anymore, man. Like,
that men being in power
we got too many crackhead simps that are letting people in, and people making actually that's not even completely true, because a lot of the people making the decisions are actually women, like women judges that are like causing a lot of this problem, to be honest. It is a little bit of both, I'd say.
is dangerous, it's not
I
just
think so.
false, it's anti-true. It's the opposite of true. But she doesn't care about that. She doesn't even believe what she's saying. This is just a power game that she's playing. It's kind of like when women call each other tens even though they don't believe it, and they're basically saying, oh, you're so beautiful all the way down there. Keep acting like a 10 so you're not competition for me. Men tend to seek power through open, direct competition. They just say, this is the power I have, and then they clash. Women, on the other hand, tend to seek power by playing nice on the
Hugboxing.
outside and
Deceptive
being
hugboxing.
self-protective through strategies
Then
like
stabbing
appearing to
people in
be
the
a
back.
victim. Women will often
King's
accuse men
Landing
of
style.
hurting them or being about to hurt them, so that everybody dog piles on those men and takes their power away, which then becomes her power. And even though this video is terribly low quality, it is also persuasive. It causes people to agree with her, which then leads to a group strategy of women all
maze
over
challenges,
the internet agreeing to say
spires,
that men
hustle-
are bad
hustle.
and
There's
dangerous
multiple?
in order to take their power away, despite that they are doing a relatively
Sword,
good
shield.
job.
Oh,
Persuasion
God,
is
they
one
want
of
all
my
the
favorite topics.
weapons?
It's all about using conscious strategies
Oh,
to influence
no.
the subconscious. Let's start with this one. I'll go through her video step by step to show why she's the problem.
I'm autistic and I am so
Insta buff, man, at the very beginning of the it's like a encounter start action, you know.
tired of men.
my
Wow, let's
God.
file that in the no one asked folder. Next to astrological signs and pronouns, there's autism and hating men and who you want me to vote for. TikTok has a lot of that kind of stuff in it and not a lot else. So why am I making this video if it's not important? Because these things become important when people pay attention to them. And that's what TikTok is. It's an attention ruiner. I got a lot of mileage out of this one. The way it works is that you see something on your phone and it makes you go rawr because negative emotions make people respond more than positive ones. And then you project the rawr onto whatever thing it is that you think is making you feel that way. And then sometimes you take an action, which is how engagement farming works. It's making people mad enough to go, what can I do about this situation? And you either might leave a comment or, in her case, make another
Absolutely
video that
nothing.
says, man bad. And of course, at no point does she question whether this fits into the world that she wants to create or whether this is the right thing to do. So what else is in here?
I have a message that I want to share with you guys. I want to share with you guys how I think men are super dangerous for society. I think they are going to damage so many of us, including just women in general.
So I put those in feelings and opinions. Men are dangerous and men will hurt women. Now,
This is why they want to hang out with the bear. It's the reason why.
those might sound like objective claims because it is a fact that some men are dangerous and hurt a lot of things all the time. And it's a statistical certainty that some men will at some point in the future hurt some women. But the reason it's not a fact or an objective claim, what you said, is because there's just no details like how many men do we need to worry about? What percentage of the set of men are dangerous. Is it different from population to population? Are there different kinds of men that are more or less dangerous that we need to worry about? What about compared to women? What about the damage that women do? Because remember, you're doing damage right now by spreading bad attitudes
Yep.
on the internet that make women lash out at men, and then that hurts men, and then that makes them lash out. And, what about quantifying it? Is the damage...
The one problem is that a lot of women see men as like these tanks that can just take damage like over and over again, and it's fine to just keep hurting them. You see it all
that
the time.
men do going up or down, or you didn't really include any of this. You just sort of said, man bad. Got any more feelings?
I feel like they are not supportive of women's rights and who we are.
Okay,
What does that
similarly,
even mean?
no evidence for this one. She even keeps saying I feel, which is helpful. I'm just gonna put this here in case she says a fact at some point. She's not even defining what women's rights are or giving
Exactly, yeah,
examples
what
of
is that, yeah.
supporting who they are, whatever that means.
I feel like they are taking over our country and it's a men's world right now.
Whoa, that's a pretty wacky one. They are taking over our country?
So like our as in like women's country? You mean like the one that according to them they had no rights in until they were able to vote? How'd that happen? So if men have all of the power and men have all of the physical force, how are women able to become how are they able to gain their ability to vote? How did that happen?
Am I a they? Am I invading America right now? That would be so embarrassing. Let's just put a they over there. And then she says that it's a men's world right now. And I gotta say, as long as we're doing feelings, it doesn't feel like it is. This went viral recently. I sent 100 applications as a man and a woman. It's much better being a woman. And that's not exactly science, but it is a lot closer than anything you said. So apparently, this guy works in computer science, and he took his CV and changed the name to a female name. And then he applied to jobs with his real name, waited a while, and applied with the female name. Out of 100 applications, his male name got 7 responses. And out of 100 applications, his female name got 40.
I mean, that must be for DEI reasons, right? I mean, it must be.
Amongst
It's the
other
only
things.
reason.
That's
They're
600.
trying to like hit some kind of quota or something, right? Because why else would you do that if like you just need somebody for like that's good at the job? It doesn't make sense for you to limit yourself.
50% more likely. He even tried looking for working class jobs, and he got almost 9 times more responses. And this is more than 4 years old, and things have gotten worse. So since we're doing feelings, you started it, that feels like the last 20 years of my life. And some people might argue that the kind of job you can get is the primary determinant of how much of the world is yours. I checked around, and other men feel it too. They feel being very much not in control. About this many in less than a year, and these on Instagram. This actually took 2 weeks. So do our feelings matter or just yours? Not that we need feelings when there are national hiring experiments that reveal a 2-to-1 preference for women. And here's a diversity study from LinkedIn saying that women are 16% more likely than men to get hired after applying to a job. 18% if it's a senior role. Doesn't feel like a man's world to me. What else you got?
And I do not feel like men should be in control. I feel like the reason why we're in so many issues right now is because men have been in control.
So then issues come from men being in control. Okay, so according to you, let's fit that in here, according to feminism in general, men have been in control since the beginning of time, and they have been oppressive to everyone. And only recently, women have gotten freedom, and everything is going to get better forever. It's not true, it's a lie. Reality is a lot more complicated, but that is what all feminists say all the time. So if men have been in control since caveman times, here's another stupid fantasy about women hunting woolly mammoths from this piece of shit. And then we started gradually living in tents, and then castles, and then apartments, and now the world looks like this. Then where did all this stuff come from?
Yep.
Didn't it happen when men were in control. Have you ever been up the Space Needle? It's pretty cool. It's the opposite of having issues. So what are you even talking about? You've got no facts and you can't even get your feelings straight. We're taking over, but we already took over, and it was bad before, but it's bad.
They love saying, it's literally the Handmaid's Tale. We're literally living in the Handmaid's Tale, guys.
Now, even though it's good now because you're getting freedom, but you don't have freedom because it's our world, even though you have all the advantages. This is all, you know, crap.
Bullshit. I was about to say, just call it what it is.
So why am I talking about it? Because the fact that it's stupid doesn't mean that it's not popular. That did better than it should have. Look at this crap. Can you imagine? Over here is a girl celebrating being mean to a guy who's good to her. 4.8 million.
Holy crap.
Absolute brain rot. This is the quality of what most people send me on TikTok. That one looks pretty good. I can kind of tell from looking by now. So there's a lot of low quality
Oh, he's finally
getting
here.
pumped out really fast, and a lot of it is persuasive. Here's Win Bigley again on short form. The basics are that we all think we're enlightened, and people who disagree with us just need better facts, but in reality, we make decisions first, more irrationally than we realize, and then we rationalize them later. So here are some objective claims for you. I put them in blue for boys. Low quality content is more popular than ever, and feelings are persuasive. They change people's minds. So that means that
is true,
content
though.
like this, me giving my boyfriend a cruel attitude when he treats me like a princess, look at her go, uses feelings
It's so true how feelings and opinions just change people's minds, regardless of what the facts are.
to convince people of horse shit like this and this. Combine that with scrolling through TikTok, and your brain just doesn't have time to think about things on a rational level. You're just going feeling swipe. You're having reflexes and impulses, and like it or not, those are programming you. And they are having this effect
Correct.
on the world. They see the video, it gives them a feeling, they project it onto the world, and they have a reaction. Some of the reactions are to make more videos, which then are seen by more people.
I mean, it's really it really is pretty awful too, because it's kind of gonna, like, that sort of mentality is gonna infect any. It can infect people that watch it. So whether that's infecting women and kind of skewing their perception of things, and then they treat men worse, or if like men watch it and then feel bad, either way, you're, well, not only feel bad, but feel like it's hopeless. It causes damage in that way.
Causing more feelings, more projections, and more reactions, some of which are videos. And they are full of ass-backwards, opposite from the truth lies like these. And that's one of the primary ways that women get power, by making shit up while looking nice on the outside. And that's what is actually dangerous. You are telling harmful lies to convince mass numbers of women and weak and fearful men and other Democrats of the direct opposite of the truth, which might have something to do with this. Among young Americans aged 18 to 29, the men are maintaining a stable political orientation, while the women are getting more liberal, which often looks like
Jeez.
this. Man bad is just a part of the Democratic platform at this point, and that's despite the fact that man obviously not bad. Man doing a pretty good job compared to some places.
I do not think men should continue to be in control of anything. I think men being in control of our country and the system is very dangerous for
The thing is the whole thing with men being in control too is there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, why are you even having this conversation? There's nothing you can do about it. Men are just stronger than women. It's just too bad.
our country and the system moving forward. So I will continue to keep speaking. I will continue to keep sharing messages.
Please don't. Please stop sharing. And if not for me, then at least do it for the Peace and Security Index.
Biology is racist. Man.
Dobby's going to a pride rally, Harry.
Dobby is non-binary, sir.
They would probably do it. That's the thing.
Dobby's masters don't even use his preferred pronouns, sir. Master has given Dobby a strap on.
You don't know what I've suffered in the Malfoy house.
They're an open
pronouns
family.
are the
Nerderotic.com.
You want to talk about a white pill? Look at this. Look at that ratio.
Oh goodness. Oh my.
Oh, it finally happened. Oh.
This is the official
Wow.
HBO Max in America. All of the other ones are also ratioed.
The only place I checked where it wasn't ratioed was ironically the HBO Max UK.
UK, yeah.
You're gonna say run.
Not really surprised there.
Don't look at me. I'm in the minority.
boys.
We are
I
looking
didn't
at
even know
you.
we had a HBO in the UK. I didn't know. Like, subscribe.
It's because it's called HBO. You're pronouncing it wrong. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
And HBO.
Do you think they care about all the downvotes?
Yes.
Yes. I do. They were not expecting this. This has to be very surprising to them, and them rolling out that behind the scenes so quickly was obvious damage control.
There's a reason that a couple days before, all of a sudden, Papa Esidu does all these interviews where he talks about the racist backlash and things like that because they were hoping to temper racist backlash. They were hoping to put that out there to make people feel guilty or feel bad for him, or so they can get an upswing of support because they knew there was going to be backlash. And then it happened, and it was way worse than they expected. It was worse than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought, if it got 250,000 likes, I thought maybe we'd get like 100,000 dislikes. Because although there's certainly things to talk about in that trailer with the tone and some of the casting choices and things, it's not deserving of a ratio. It's Black Snake. That is the ratio. That's why this is happening. 7 out of 10 comments that are negative are about Black Snape, and they put that Finding Harry behind the scenes thing out. Who puts that out 8 months before it airs? That's something you put out a couple weeks before it airs to generate hype and build up excitement, or you put it out as it's airing. Not 8 months. That's crazy.
And
Especially
in the
HBO.
documentary, they're clearly aware this is happening because they have sound bites of people saying the casting is so excellent, and they're showing Papa, and then they're trying to seed this idea in your head that this is a great cast. This is very accurate to the books.
How could they not know that there'll be such a blowback to this? Like,
They
we're
did.
10 years
They
into this
did.
bull crap. But it's unbelievable
strat.
that they think that people are not fed up with this. It just goes to show you how much of a bubble that they're in, that they think they can still get away with this and survive it. Now, the show will probably still do all right in the first season, perhaps. But holy crap, if I wasn't reviewing this, I'd be completely checked out. I wouldn't give a crap about the show.
It was a completely unforced error, and I think they were certainly expecting some blowback, but it was in their, like you said, in their bubble. It was that small vocal minority that we can just, throw an article out here and push back, start calling them racist. They weren't expecting almost the entirety of the Harry Potter fandom, which is all make shapes and sizes, and people across all races and demographics going, no, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is a bridge too far. Like, you can make Cynthia Erivo Jesus Christ, but not Black Snake, buddy.
That's a step too far, man.
They may have also judged the expected backlash by their values, so they could have expected J.K. Rowling to be a far bigger issue.
Yes.
And Snape wasn't in the trailer that much at all, so maybe they were trying to balance it out, and they think they can win the J.K. Rowling stuff. Andrew Garfield randomly came out and watched them all for the first time and did a major interview that went everywhere at the same time the trailer dropped as well. So it does seem like there's a multi-pronged
What a
thing.
coincidence, Disparu.
It seems very similar to Rings of Power, the way it's going at the moment.
does.
The different covering so early before the show's coming out.
Harry Potter is a book obviously written by a woman, but the one thing J.K. can do is write
There you
men.
are.
She can write male characters, and if she couldn't, this wouldn't be as popular. But you have a bunch of female executives with the background in marketing and not creativity, and it's how they approach male brands, and they don't take them as seriously as we do. I'm trying to buy time here as I'm close. I know it's almost here. There it is. Okay, here we go. Pulp Fiction writer Roger Avery on what's behind Hollywood's embrace of wokeness. I think a lot of it has to do with the preponderance of female executives that are working at the broadcasters and at the studio. Listen, I've worked with a ton of amazing development executives, but you know, guys, when they think about something like Star Wars, they think about it being in basic terms, which is kind of what guys want. The sort of Joseph Campbell-esque adventure with heroes and villains, and the guy gets a girl, all simple stuff. A woman will generally say, I'm going to fix this guy. I'm going to change him. And so they're taking this IP and they're completely, I got to say this, rejiggering it in a way.
Oh, say again. Very quickly.
That's what they did to Harry Potter.
I said it once. In a way that they think it works. And honestly, it feels to me like they're getting messaging from above, mandates from above, like, hey, you make sure you do this, you make sure you do that, make sure you tick this box and that box, and so on.
This is the casting director.
Hey.
Looks like an in memorandum.
I don't know if we can play this because it is HBO. It might take us down.
Well, I mean, they really go into. John Lithgow says it's going to get reimagined, and the casting director, is this the one that said Hermione had lead character energy?
Yeah, main character energy.
And she was,
which is that's what tells you the entire casting is up to question now, because if that's your basis for one of the trinity of Harry.
Jesus, bro. Oh, am I looking at the wrong one? There's one above? Don't you just keep looking at the same spot? Yeah. Is there one above? I don't see one above. I looked everywhere. Huh? I see this one beneath. Where the hell did he see the one above? You can't move with the helm anymore. Also, the lineup is different. Doesn't work in the daytime anymore. This quest is glitched. What, am I cooked because I came here at the wrong time? I see the one on the ground. I don't see shit in the sky. Maybe it's because I'm here in the daytime? Chose the worst possible time to come attempt this. Okay, I guess we gotta do it at nighttime. Sag and Rip. Is there anyone here now?
Potter is like you don't even get the characters that you're casting. Right?
When you're saying emotionally intelligent, like saying that Hermione is emotionally intelligent is just flat out wrong.
Yeah,
like,
just wrong.
She is at times she can be a little more emotionally intelligent than the boys in figuring out girls, but then there's moments where she does some really dumb shit. Yeah, like almost getting Harry and herself killed in the Dark Force when she with the Centaurs. I mean, she does some stupid shit too. You know, she's complex. She's a complex character, but she's not this emotionally intelligent character. She's actually kind of sensitive, kind of an insufferable know-it-all, a little bit autistic.
Look, of all three of those, I do think you would describe like Hermione does have the most emotional intelligence in terms of being able to look at something and say, well, Harry, don't you understand that that's what he's going through? This is what Sirius is feeling right now. This is why Sirius is acting this way. That is a trait that Hermione does display throughout when it comes to relating some of those things, as opposed to the boys. And I think that's probably pretty normal for girls of that age versus boys of that age. But
yeah,
not that all of them are intelligent.
And it's not even necessarily that all of these things that they said are in and of themselves bad. It's just a red flag on top of a heap of red flags that make you go, okay, well, where is it that what's your angle? Where are you going about casting these people? When I hear that, I immediately go, oh, okay, main character energy. They're going to do the same thing that they did in the movie, which is hyper focus on Hermione.
There's a danger that they will do the same thing they did in the films. Yes, I think to think there isn't is crazy, right?
The problem is that they have come out initially when they announced it. They came out initially said we're going to do an authentic take of the books. JK's involved. So that, of course, gets the Harry Potter fan base, which is colossal, exceedingly excited. It gets people like me who don't know anything about Harry Potter. It makes me interested to get an authentic take. And then ever since that, you've literally just had, well, Black Snake comes in. Then we've got this casting. Now we're going to be adding extra parts which weren't in the books. Then we're going to be doing this. Now this character's going to be portrayed in this manner. And it's just totally contradicting everything they said about the authenticity and JK being involved. So that ratio to me, which I never thought they'd get, is just like such a monumental announcement from the Harry Potter fan base about you're doing this wrong. And we all know they're going to ignore every single bit of it. And we most likely will be left with a Rings of Power esque thing. Maybe get 1 or 2 seasons. And if those 1 or 2 seasons have completely moved away from the source material, this show will fall apart like Rings of Power has.
I can't imagine it being as bad as Rings of Power. I can't.
Yeah, but that would be. That's because Rings of Power, they were creating something new. These still have the books, so it will be a better skin suit. But it comes down to, if you do a load of minor changes, how many minor changes before you end up somewhere entirely different anyway?
We're going on side quests. We're doing scenes that weren't in the book or in the movies. They are creating new stuff. So like that's the place that I'm going to be looking for. Like, what's the dialogue in those scenes? What is it adding in those scenes that it's going to be off from the books? I'm like, if you're gonna go to like Flamel, if you're gonna have him actually in a scene, you better damn well write those dialogue scenes very, very good, because like that's purely you, and that's what I'm gonna be looking for.
I would expect them to add some stuff and do some stuff differently, but in the first couple of seasons, I still don't think they have room to do that.
What the fuck is going on? I'm
Books
stepping right into them.
All you had to do was, it would be different than the movies because these would be a fuller story, a much fuller story. Apparently, Harry doesn't even get the Hagrid shows up at the end of the first episode. So the first episode. Is
oh my god, are they gonna reset all of it? All of it reset.
Put other stuff
I don't fucking believe it, man. And then
and that's where you start to get in trouble. And George R. Martin.
I'm so annoyed, man. I'm so annoyed.
About the butterflies and the butterfly effects.
And now the fucking bees are out.
Characters and how it affects your story in the end. And even J.K. Rowling told the filmmakers, like, don't leave out the house elves, and they did. Yeah. And this was before she was done with Deathly Hallows. She's all, well, they're kind of going to be a big deal at the end. You know, they will have something to do with the story at the end.
This shit is so dumb, man. Fucking stepped into him like 7 fucking times, holding Barry, and just nothing connected.
House elves fighting against ice.
Well, what the hell's Slytherin then? Because they're all fucking Indian.
Well, the Death Eaters will all look like, they'll just look like cops.
What stories would you guys like to see them focus on?
The story.
The
books. Pretty easy.
I guess a lot of the books were trimmed like pretty ruthlessly for the movie. So is there anything that like obviously was left out of the movie?
Oh my god.
Book that you would like
There's
to see?
a lot. There's a lot of setup that happens throughout the last half of the series that's leading up to the Deathly Hallows that sets up the backstory of Voldemort and all the Horcruxes and all that is like slowly trickled through those stories. And in the movies, they don't really do that at all until like the last.
You don't even get the full fucking prophecy in the movie.
Right.
You don't.
You don't even get the full prophecy found out in Order of the Phoenix. Goblet of Fire got massacred. My opinion is it's awful because it cuts out so much of the book. it cuts out all the red herrings that actually make the Goblet of Fire a great mystery. It cuts out a ton of references and other things like Winky the House Elf and the entire House Elf side quests. I say side quests just because it's part of it, but that thing gets cut out entirely. And they have such ability to let the story breathe and include everything that we saw, every scene that is depicted in the books we could see come to life. I don't think they have time to be adding all these extra scenes. So my feeling is they're going to be adding extra stuff and cutting out some stuff that they kind of inherently promised to give us.
So they come out with this, the strangest thing I heard in that thing was not the reimagining part I expected, because they didn't need to come out and say it. Fucking Black Snape tells me you're reimagining this series. I don't need to see anything else. And then we have the strong South Asian representation in Slytherin. Dude, that one meme. The one meme of the Hogwarts Express.
Oh, it's the best meme of all time.
Oh, is it the one where they're on top of the train?
This is supposed to be 1990.
Can you sign my Hogsmeade permission form?
Was it 1991?
It's 91 to 97 or 8. I think. I don't know exactly.
1991 UK.
I said, though, in a video that if you want it to feel like the UK, actually doesn't matter about the demographics of the UK, you still need native British people in it to make it feel like native Britain. So even in 30 years, if the demographics are still gone, it is the English people that make England feel like England, and so it really doesn't matter what the reality is. This picture could come from anywhere on Earth. So if you want the location to actually be a main part of the story...
Likely India.
Well, exactly, right?
Like India to me.
This is one of the things I don't think representing reality is as important as representing the
Frisco,
the location that you're setting in.
Bro, this looks like when an IRL streamer fucking goes to a third world country.
Mr. Beast.
I'm waiting for the red coats to come along. That's what I'm
Kind of looks like they're escorting the two blondes because they're sort of surrounding them in the middle.
Yeah, it's
in the background too.
To sacrifice them.
Come to our village.
Don't want to be hanging out in the latrine in Slytherin. That's all I'm saying. No.
Remember the lore about the plumbing in Hogwarts, Gary, where before there was like traditional plumbing, they just like shit on the floor and disappeared it basically, with a spell.
Clogwarts.
No wonder so many Indians are there.
House elves
makes you wonder where all that goes. Makes you wonder where all that goes.
You know, house elves it goes into non-being.
That's
but
right.
I think it goes to the room of requirement.
Room of requirement. That's right.
There's a whole nother.
And if somebody walks by the room of requirement going, life is shit, and they walk in there, they find out where all the shit is.
Ancient shit.
But J.K. Rowling has never really, she doesn't really explain the mechanics of her magic. It is a talent that you're born with, pretty much. You can practice, you can get better. Some people are better than others, but she's never really said where it comes from. Nobody knows where it comes from, but they feel the need to explain it in this. And even if it's in reference to, it's for the artist to have a frame of reference, you don't need that. It's fucking magic. So when we have somebody come out going, it's Ryan, they go, it's rooted in naturalism and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Natural.
And, you know,
harnessing our nature.
The Finding Harry behind the scenes thing they did, I thought there was some okay stuff in it. And
the craftsmanship looked really good.
Yeah,
looked
seeing
really
the kids acting behind the scene was good. Like you're getting to know their personalities a little bit more. But also, yes, the sets and the attention to detail that went into the sets and the animatronics that they're doing for some of the the owl and everything. Obviously, a ton of attention and dedication went into doing those things, and it makes the problems that much worse.
Yes.
Because you can't tell me when you have this much care over recreating Diagon Alley, with all the street signs, with all the shops, with all these things to immerse people in this world, it becomes that much more of a problem when you have clear things where you went against everything that's written, like with Black fucking Snape.
With dreadlocks. When Black Snape walks out in what looks like a pretty authentic Diagon Alley, and then they're coming at you with the whole approach of, we're going to base magic in naturalism, which is the pure opposite, the polar opposite of supernaturalism. If you look into the philosophy of naturalism, so they're trying to ground it in like a in no better way, kind of an atheist way to put it. Not that not that this is not that Harry Potter is like a Christian work or anything like that, but it's
well, they do
it's
celebrate Easter and Christmas.
They do.
And there is a church service that happens on Christmas Eve when they're in Godric's Hollow.
Yep.
But it's
so,
more
according to
that if
Jack, it would be actually more Christian than Lord of the Rings. Church.
You're right.
It's more that the show's way of defining it removes the possibility of. So now no one can interpret it as maybe the magic comes in this as their own kind of thing. And the worst part of that quote, I thought, was we were discussing what the core values of our show should be. And it's like, it's the book. Like, you shouldn't have core values. It directly went against the Peter Jackson quote instantaneously, which is what those movies always get praised for.
So in this behind the scenes, I don't think it helped, Ryan. That damage control, I don't think it helped. We got to see some better lit images of Snape, and he looks like Tracy Chapman.
Better let it stretch.
Oh no, this is good. Like it's blurry on me, and the first thing I saw was just teeth. I'm like,
Oh god, bro, come on, man.
Why you gotta be like that?
You're gonna find.
Oh my god, he's saying
lighting though. You are gonna have to light him more than anyone else in the scene.
You have to wait a
His cup is just full of purple drink.
Oh no.
Dude, the memes are evolving.
Yeah, they are.
Like I said, and it's not just Snape now. So it's like moved off from Snape. But to what Ryan said earlier, somebody tried to make that argument on X. It's like, no, it's some of the people who don't like J.K. Rowling. No, there's not enough of them. They really don't hang out on YouTube. 100% of this is from Black Snape. If that was White Snape, I don't think it wouldn't even be close to ratioed. It was a matter of fact, I think the dislikes would be incredibly low because the rest of the trailer pretty non-offensive, right? Except for this, when
lighting.
you take the lighting. You can't see much. You
the lighting in the color grade.
Can't believe they're shooting the show that dark.
Yeah,
I can't believe they're doing that, and it's very Game of Thrones. Like my constant criticism of Game of Thrones, particularly in later seasons and in all of House of the Dragon, is the shit is shot too dark. You can't see shit.
There's a shot in the bathroom in the scene where Hermione's in the bathroom crying, and then the troll shows up. The behind the scenes footage of it looks like a dark room, like they're trying to develop film in there. Like,
and what
turn the lights
sucks
on.
is when they have the lights on and they show like the sets and the potions room, it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of detail went into it, and the fact that this thing is ratioed is actually legitimately shocking. Like, I didn't think it would be like. I think people would go, I don't like Black Snape, but I like everybody else. So it's kind of great. It's kind of great. Now the problem is, at the end of my video, I said, David Ellison, you can be the hero. He can't make the decision now, but even when he's in power, there's no way in hell he can recast Snape, even if he wanted to, because of the blowback he'd get within the industry. You kneeled down to the chuds, even though people are still complaining about it, and it would only help your show. It would help with merchandise. Like Alan Rickman Snape stuff is going to sell more than Black Snape stuff. It just, the best this thing can hope for now is, well, the show's good, but we're gonna hold our nose or cover our eyes or whatever or roll our eyes when Black Snape shows up. And that's in the early seasons. Once you start getting to the later seasons, then it starts messing with the story thematically.
Yeah.
And then, and I asked the question in my video, and Ryan's brought it up too. It's, well, are you going to soften the character? Are you going to soften people's attitudes towards the character, which completely changes the story? We like Snape the way he was. He was an asshole. He did some brave stuff. He ended up a hero at the end, but he was still a dick. He still legitimately hated Harry. Just because he did good, the complexity of the character is what makes him interesting, right? And if you remove that and he just becomes supermodel Snape or whatever, then you're in the fanfic. I still don't think it's going to be bad as Rings of Power. Like, Rings of Power made up its own shit, and I don't think they're going to make up that much stuff.
So then how do they make him hating Harry not a race issue then?
Good question. or Harry hating him.
Point though.
Yeah.
It's
Black people can't be racist. That's why.
Yeah.
But it's gonna have a lot more to do with, as opposed to him hating Harry because he's white. It's gonna have a lot more to do. The questions get asked are gonna have a lot more to do about, one, Harry's feelings towards Snape in terms of always being suspicious of him and thinking he's up to no good, but also Snape's childhood and his life growing up and his experience at Hogwarts and him getting picked on because he was fucking poor and had shitty clothes and a gang of white kids were fucking picking on him and pulling him up from underneath a tree and like all this shit. You know what I mean?
His father abandoned him, and it's insinuated, it's not said outright, that he was abused.
Yeah.
It's not just about Snape being black. It's about all the things that they might change to do that. So if, say, for example, if they're addressing this in their writer's room and they say, well, this scene could be problematic now to have these 4 white kids, you know, kind of picking on and, you know, bullying this black kid. Should we really do that? Well, instead of making Snape white like they should, the answer is likely going to be, well, you know, we could probably just make one of those kids black too. Then
if not 2
like that.
So then one of them
Sirius
named
Black
Black.
is
One of them is named
appropriately named
Sirius
as
Black. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Like-
I think they're. My guess is Lupin and Sirius Black are going to be diverse. Both of them. I won't say
Lupin
they're
could
both
be
black,
Indian. I could
but
see
they'll
them
make
making
Lupin,
Indian.
Indian. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. That'd be great.
Authentic.
So every season we're gonna get another one of the Black Snape. It's gonna be another casting where they do the same thing.
Hermione's black on the cover of one of the audiobooks.
Yeah.
They still describe Snape as white, but there's a black guy voicing him. That one doesn't matter that much. It's theater of the mind.
And it started with the play.
What the hell is this?
Before that, even before the audio.
with Hermione.
gun?
And J.K. Rowling signed off on,
Yep,
by the
she
way.
did.
She probably has the power to veto that, but if she vetoed Black Snape, they would tell the entire world that J.K. Rowling vetoed.
Adds 3 very large
diverse
chonker
character.
guns and 2 slightly less
I think
chonk.
it's very telling that she has not met any of the cast members.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
She has not met like none of the cast members have actually met J.K. Rowling. You know, she did put out that statement after he got cast and he signed that "I love trans people" letter or whatever
Yeah.
he did, and she said, "Look, I don't have the power to fire Papa Esiedo, but I wouldn't even if I did have that power because I don't believe in, you know, firing somebody just because of a difference of political opinions, blah blah blah." But the more impactful thing to me was I don't have the power to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Not couldn't even if I did.
Yeah, it's funny because Casey Bloys said she does have power. So somebody's lying.
These people are
and
lying. What? No.
I know. I know. I
J.K.
know.
Rowling is still woke as hell apart from the trans issue.
Yes.
She's probably
Of
on
course.
board with it. She probably
Which
would
I think
tell
she
you,
is.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
She's been on board with every single thing except the feminist issues, which has been that one split. Because even that is just like, I don't want men to have powers that, well, essentially,
Wait, they don't have
female
clothing?
privileges. And so you've got that.
Did I go
All
past
the
it?
kind of woke stuff she's always been on board with. I don't know. She's shown no kind of sign of had any issues with other swaps at all. So this
No.
is literally just more of the same.
No. Do you think within the course of this series, and I think it's going to be seen through,
Oh, there
no
you go.
matter what, that it just is a background actor or just a little side character, get a trans actor to come in? I think they do.
There was one in
I
the
think they
game.
100% do.
There was one in the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe it could be Tonks because she's an anamorph magus.
Yep.
So she can just change her body at
Yeah.
will, like her appearance at will. God, I did.
Oh, you just gave him an idea, you son of a bitch.
That is the,
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.
Are we anywhere on like a Wonder Woman script? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel like there's a take, there's a direction.
Yes.
That feels distinct from what we've seen before.
Yeah. Very. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm very, very excited about Wonder Woman right now.
I'm sure
James
you
Gunn's
are.
DCU Wonder Woman movie needs this one detail for it to be a masterpiece. A woman.
Masterpiece of
Because,
shit. I like it.
my God, have they been doing great.
perfect when it fits a woman.
More women.
Yeah, a vagina.
Because that worked out for the Bride, that worked out for the Eternals, that worked out for Harley Quinn and the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Sorry, I said it.
Wait,
Harley
what?
sandwich.
Harley sandwich.
To get around this
whatever the fuck it was called.
problem, I had to push the passive
Fantabulous emancipation of one
selectives
Harley
from
Quinn.
fighters and
One
rangers
Harley
to
Quinn.
level 2.
It's not
Birds of prey.
until they changed it after one weekend.
That's how these people gauge quality. It's if it ticks the right boxes, then it's good. Not if the actual story is good or anything like that. We definitely saw that with Wheel of Time. The people that loved it were the ones that, oh, it ticked all the right boxes and it's supporting my identity, therefore it is good.
Because they don't
I'm not
actually
sure.
care about nerd stuff. They don't care about comic books. They don't care about nerd culture. They just want to use it for their political gains. That's it.
Where is the skin suit?
It doesn't make any sense anyway, because Christina Hodgson is going to be writing Batman, for fuck's sake.
If we ever see it.
Does
What are we gonna
does
see?
it matter? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't matter an iota if it's a man or a woman. They just need a good product. This is Collider needing to get there. She needs a fucking
where was all the
$5
praise?
for
Where was all
fucking
the praise?
ramen noodles tonight.
What was this brew gonna say?
Ooh, ramen sounds good.
I think like it does
You all right
matter
there,
to a
buddy?
degree, because you're asking who is your target market with this. If your target market with a Wonder Woman movie is women, then a woman probably should direct it, because she will know the priorities and what they value more. But at the same time, that woman's not going to be thinking, how many times should we see up this woman's skirt? Is there scenes where we should like zoom in on something for the guys? And so I think it does. But like the people that tick boxes for identity, they are making a movie for them, and there is that demographic. You just have to ask, is there enough of them to make a profitable movie? And I don't think that Wonder Woman was designed as a female franchise.
It's
So you've
not.
got, like,
It's
You've
not.
got like Red Sonja
It's
wasn't
designed for
made to be.
dominatrixes.
Well, Red Sonja wasn't designed to be a feminist Conan the Barbarian. She was designed because someone looked at that and went, wouldn't it be hot if she was a woman? And so you always have to have your target demographic in mind, not, oh, well, it's a woman, so we need a woman to be making it.
But you're using the traditional values which 99.9% of society actually takes, and you're talking about Hollywood, which is a 0.01% of fucking retarded identity politic fucking bubble wankers who are just like, where do I come into this? Where's my life and lived experience that I think I narcissistically need to show to the fucking world? And then they go and put it out. We've just been talking about fucking Harry Potter, for fuck's sake, and the mistakes that they're making. Warner, it was up for sale. Warner is a fucking catastrophe of bad fucking ideas. This is why they have to fucking sell this. If somebody came in and vetoed fucking Paparazzi, as whatever the fuck he's called, wanker fucking gay man, as fucking Snape, and actually fucking cast it properly, that would be a healing process, not a bad thing. But nobody's got the fucking balls in Hollywood to actually do any of this nonsense, because they're also fucking scared when these are the people who actually have the fucking power. So what if you're fucking whatever the agencies and all the fucking guilds get on your back and, oh, this is a terrible thing, you fucking, I don't know, genociding murdered fucking women in Africa, as that fucking Canadian bint said the other fucking day, stupid fucking retard. It doesn't fucking matter. We need some fucking healing in Hollywood, not pandering. And it's just going from pander to pander to pander to fucking pander. It's a fucking disaster. We don't need somebody, a female per se, writing Wonder Woman. We need somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. James Gunn don't know what the fuck he's doing. Christina Hodgson don't know what the fuck she's doing. Fucking Tom King doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, unless it's his fucking mum up the fucking ass while he's strangling his fucking dad, the Oedipus fucking weirdo. Nobody knows what they're fucking doing anymore because they're too busy not wanting to offend anyone in their fucking bubble of fuckwits. So can we get somebody that's got a set of fucking balls that goes, you know what? I want to make a good fucking movie or TV show.
Maybe they'll get a woman with balls to direct it. How'd that work out? How'd that work
Not
out?
so good. Not so good, mate.
Women,
Not so good.
women really didn't buy the Wonder Woman comic ever, not in any significant numbers whatsoever. So I like this first line here. James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU got the explosive hit it needed.
Bro.
Explosive.
Come on.
With 2025 Superman. It was an explosive hit.
Listen,
Guys,
everybody.
I don't know that it
taken out of
was.
theaters because it was so explosive.
After 32 days.
Exploded out.
So she's demanding a female director for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman had a female director for two movies, a female writer and director for the second one, where she wrote Wonder Woman raping a dude. Wonder Woman raping a dude.
Good luck.
That is standard in their novels, though. So
yeah.
Hey, women can do things that guys can do too.
Sure.
And get away with
Stormfront.
Guys
And
can
get
do
away
it.
Women can be Nazis too.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Recognition, finally.
It's good cosplay.
Maybe they can find a Wonder Woman who can act this time. That would be
No.
if she's high enough, no one will care.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I won't.
Just have a whip. And a tiny skirt.
It is a case of Gal Gadot can't act, but it took decades to notice.
I know. Well, if she didn't come out with that, it was her idea to do that cringe.
Imagine.
Imagine video.
Oh,
So
Wait, was it really?
Do you know we've actually got a count. We've actually got a counter to that we're
Yeah.
going to start filming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe one day. Maybe when they go back into, she comes back out for Imagine Part fucking 2.
Well, we
We'll
already
do
had a
our
second
version.
version with I Take Responsibility. They did
Oh,
it
yeah.
again.
That was. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that one.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
so
just be
good.
real. Yeah.
Well,
And I
but
still
it's
might use it in the
what have you
future.
taken responsibility for? What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
you don't
Nothing.
have friends to
That's
tell them not to
absolutely
do
nothing.
this shit.
Being white.
Right?
What was that even for? Was it for like white people?
BLM
or
stuff.
something?
It
was just BLM.
It was
Yeah.
a virtue signal, is all it was.
Being a good ally.
It was that they won't be silent if they see discrimination in a room
Right.
and all that kind of stuff.
They'll call it out.
Like
Yeah.
we get it. You're never silent about ever.
Yeah, we weren't afraid of you being silent.
Yeah. Please be silent once in a while. Thanks.
I just think about all the actors who were in that, and their only belief in diversity is, well, I'll sniff cocaine off a black hooker's ass, so that's where I'm going to show that I'm an ally.
Cutting and brave.
Like right after they shot that video. Oh God, fucking Hollywood. So yeah, James Gunn. God, I can't believe they're still trying to push that Superman's a hit. I just read another article like this massive hit, this massive success that it was. If it was such a massive success, why is everybody questioning James Gunn's employment status? At this
That
point?
woman hasn't seen the film. She hasn't seen it. Person who wrote
Probably
the article
not.
has not seen the fucking film.
Probably not, and that's the problem with the access media. A lot of tourists, a lot of tourists came in who flamed out in other parts, and they're cheap enough. Like they don't make any money, so they're getting. I can't even call them bloggers at this point. That'd be almost an insult to bloggers.
That's actually been one of the reasons why media in general had a certain political spin to it, because the only people that could afford to work there were rich kids with parents' money, and so. Because they think, well, I've had money my entire life. Why can't everyone just get money from their parents and live with no working?
Yeah.
Stop being poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can just print money. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's genuinely their worldview.
What's the problem? Jeez.
If you're homeless, just buy a house.
Yeah. Why don't you have 3 already? What happened?
Just if you're hungry, eat food.
If it's cold, just go to your holiday home. It's okay.
Just get your waiter or maid or somebody to do it for you.
So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. No decent person mocks other people's religions. It's a mockery not just of Islam, it's a mockery of Christianity.
Just to be fucking clear. The religion that says Jesus was not divine, the Jews and Christians are liars. And by the way, this new guy with the book who thought he was wrestling with a demon but was convinced it was an angel has a whole new list of rules that violate the old ones, and you should follow them. By the way, if you don't, we're gonna kill you. You know, I hear people say the woke right, the dissident right, and then I hear them lob accusations towards the other side saying MAGA dorks, rhinos. I have been pretty clear that if you can't make sense of the left, if you can't make sense of their reasoning, for example, gays for Palestine, it's because their loyalty is to Marxism.
That's right.
And what do I mean by that? Well, it's very clear. I'm not going to get into all, I'm not going to read the whole Communist Manifesto, any of that. It's viewing the world through the lens of oppressor and oppressed, and that can be somehow controlled through a centralized force. So that changes, right? It could be straights and gays, and then it could be gays and trans. It could be white and black, or then it could be black and Asian, and vice versa. It's about seeing the world through that lens, and that it is a centralized duty to correct it. It's seeing people, or identifying them as based on their immutable characteristics, to use the term of the left. All right. Identity politics, to use another term. So I will just refer to this group as the Marxist right. Meaning those on the right saying we need to remove Donald Trump, saying we need to invoke the 25th, saying that everyone is the same. We're no better off under President Trump than under Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. Here's what you guys need to know. I spend more time in leftist spheres where I get my news. That's why we provide the references every day, 11 a.m. Eastern while we stream. Bibliography every day. Most of them lean left. Democrats are actually thrilled about this. You need to understand this. Objectively, those on the left see what is happening on the right, and they go, ooh, let them do it. And I'll tell you why, because they know how intensely unpopular they are. So, clip left thrill montage.
Oh, that one.
You can see it all over the right. You got Megyn Kelly and Tucker fighting with Mark Levin. I can't even keep track of all of them. They hate each other more than they hate us. That's just what happens when parties go down. I mean, it kind of ended the Republican Party as we knew it. And
remember that.
Fighting with each other, and that's fine with me. I'm happy to watch. It's good spectator sport.
All right, MAGA cannibalism is completely underway, and it is so delicious.
This, I think, war it ties into the Epstein betrayal. It's its own sort of betrayal, and that's what's riled MAGA's hackles so much, or at least some MAGA folks. It's an emotional sense that, Daddy said something to us, and then he lied to us, and then he lied again to us.
What I'm hearing from everyone is I'm a 3-time Trump voter, and I'm not MAGA anymore. I'm now non-MAGA. MAGA, the base is leaving because they don't agree with this conflict, and they don't believe that this is what they voted for.
And I will say, the voices that you hear online, the amplified voices, which with a very unified message, by the way, with very unified timing, and I don't say that to imply anything, it is a fact. When you see people coming out all within 24 hours of each other saying, 25th, Donald Trump's a betrayer, you go, okay, well, where's this coming from? Because that's not what you're hearing from voters and people on the ground, certainly not to an overwhelming degree. You have plenty of people who are against the war in Iran, and you have plenty of people who say, you know what, I think it makes sense, and you have someone like me who said, give it 3 months, and then I think we need to reassess it. The issue is you have those on the right saying that people saying, give it 3 months, they're actually a greater danger to the country than the people you just watched who want this country to descend into socialism. How do I know? Because they've said it. How do I know that the people would rather align themselves, those on the Marxist right, with those folks? Because they have said it, and because they share the same views for America. If you were to write on paper, more universal daycare, more money into Medicare, more money into social programs, so long as there's no war, you would go, well, that's Code Pink? Oh, it's the true MAGA people. Now, James Carville just said, this is what happens when a party goes down. Like I go down to the bayou, get a crawfish. But the Republican Party isn't down because it doesn't exist in a vacuum. The conservative movement, the MAGA coalition, is not down. You know what is down? And that's the reason for people rebranding, looking for a new niche, that's just my opinion, is the Democrat Party. They are so unbelievably unpopular that I think some folks see a potential business opportunity. Hey, buy low.
Look at the net approval ratings for Republicans in Congress. This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. Look at where we are now. It's a complete flip. Just take a look at this. Net favorability. Party ahead at this point. Midterm years with the GOP president. In 2018, Dems were up by 12. In 2006, on net favorability, which party you like more? Dems were ahead by 18. Republicans are actually ahead on net favorability at this point by 5 points. So Democrats are just simply put running behind their previous benchmarks, and they need to be running well ahead of them if they want to take back the United States Senate, given that math.
To be clear, both parties are wildly unfavorable right now. However,
Democrats are even more unpopular than Republicans.
Democrats are more unpopular. It is a dead party in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because they've lost a lot of key demographics, at least to a notable degree. And you have those on the Marxist right trying to give it life support.
Yeah.
Look, this is kind of a binary decision. Either you think that this administration is absolutely flawed. But you know what? So is every administration. Nobody gets the exact president that they want. And this doesn't mean that you're a rhino. It means that you just have to pick the issues that are closed-handed and the issues that are open-handed. And if you reach the point where it violates your conscience to vote that way, I understand. You shouldn't vote that way. I'd find myself there if it was a pro-LGBTQ, transing kids, pro-abortion, libertarian candidate. I wouldn't be able to vote for them. I wouldn't. I would vote for this administration again. I'd vote for this president again. Your choice is either we can work within what we have that has some degree of a self-correcting mechanism, though it's imperfect, and work to improve it, or we can link arms with the left or be useful tools to the left. Because that is what let's distill it even more. 2028, take the two front runners. You either get J.D. Vance, imperfect, or Marco Rubio, imperfect, or Gavin Newsom. It is going to come down to a binary choice. And your rhetoric right now and your advocacy right now does have an impact on that. So you really better believe that Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris are no different than J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio. Otherwise, you're making a mistake.
Yeah, and you better do your homework in the primaries because that's where you can have your candidate, whoever it is. AOC is in her seat because she primaried the incumbent.
Right.
Use the primary system if you think things need to change. Don't try to blow up the system because you forgot we had primaries.
And if you've noticed a growing chorus of people on the Marxist right advocating for guiding gently this country into the hands of the left, guess what? You're not crazy.
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning?
This is the greatest con in history. To run as an America first, and you're going to take care of America, and then turn around and go, all of these things, daycare, Medicare, Medicaid, we have nothing to do with that. We're fighting wars.
Pause.
That's what
you just named like the programs I like least.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as how they actually work. And by the way, it was the same thing for all of you who were Doge. Keep going.
Long Island.
we're here to do.
Even blacks are getting scared, though.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're more scared of like the Trump movement, totalitarianism and fascism.
So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war,
pause.
That's a...
You mean the installed religion? Because historically, I don't know if you noticed, the Persians weren't all Muslim people. There's a history of Zoroastrianism, and you guys can get into it. But anyway, it's just, I guess, splitting hairs. By the way, I don't know if you know this, Islam has always been an installed religion. It's kind of new. Let's keep going.
Good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions.
Disagree.
How far they fall. He's like fully Jewish now, I think, like he's just like, it's all of the Israelis. Sue, if your feelings are hurt, sue.
But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself.
I think they're getting,
Incorrect.
They see these ostracized, they see these communities of people out there getting abused and shit, and I think it reflects in them somewhere,
It's a mockery not just of Islam, it's a mockery of Christianity.
Pause. No, Islam is a mockery of Christianity. This is the sleight of hand. Islam says, by the way, all that stuff that's in the New Testament about Jesus Christ being divine, dying on the cross for sins, resurrecting, none of that happened. The people of the book, Jews and Christians, lied about it. Islam is quite literally blasphemous toward Christianity. Doesn't mean that I want to force them to meet their maker as they do me. But to say that mocking a religion that tries to remove the entire basis of yours is to mock Christianity, the mental gymnastics, they should be 12-year-old Chinese girls taping down their breasts to make it through the trials. Let's go to the next one.
Send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it. You are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. That is an intentional desecration of beauty and truth, which is the definition of evil.
Even though Donald Trump has shattered his coalition by lying us into this stupid war on behalf of a foreign country, that coalition is still right for someone else to pick it up and run with it.
My concern is that this is evidence that he is not in control. He is not in control as commander-in-chief of his own armed forces.
This is the greatest about face in political history that I have really ever seen.
He hasn't been saying Iran can have a nuke since the 80s?
It feels like theater.
Nobody's been
It
definitely
feels
has.
It's been theater for a while. And it feels like, maybe this is crazy, but it feels like we're at the last cusp before something weird is going to happen. Didn't you say something weird might happen, Jamie?
You could have a global nuclear war. That's why we haven't used nuclear weapons in 80 years. No one has. Because you don't know where it goes from there. This is insane. Okay? This is insane. It's hard to believe you even need to say this out loud. Oh, but you do. Because all things being equal, that's where we're heading.
I hope Thomas Massey runs for president. I think, by the way, they're doing a big money bomb for Thomas Massey on March 30th. And I think him winning re-election in Congress is like the most important political election in the country right now.
I'm sure it is.
Sue them. Everybody's just jealous of you. It's like there's something that's just so middle school about this. It's no, we want to know who killed Charlie Kirk. So could you park aside the lawyers and get information for us?
Tyler Robinson's parents
do. No, you can't do that, can you?
The Democrats and them in the midterms, that's a side issue now compared to existential threat. How do we 25th Amendment is asked?
You see, there's a lot of brown people getting murdered on TikTok all the time, like, in the Middle East, and I think you see that.
The regime 40,000 people.
It activates.
Yeah. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job.
Yeah, he said to mock anyone's religion is to mock religion itself. No, you should never mock anybody's religion. Well, again, you can consider it a luxury or cross to bear. I've grown up here in the public eye. I have never been shy to criticize and mock Islam, and I stand by it.
Well, Muhammad did have slaves. He did slaughter a few hundred Jews, and some of his last words were cursing the Jewish and Christian people. I'm still not seeing how someone could interpret this religion as violent.
And there we go, Aisha with a black eye and a fat lip. Oh, look at that picture.
And in the spirit of full disclosure, Muhammad had many wives.
Not Muhammad! Who are you speaking?
Shut up! You don't know the boss of me!
That was, in fact, Gerald. He was the only person. He was the only person willing to be in that sketch. Everyone was like, "Oh, wait, you're making fun of Islam?"
Not Muhammad.
And maybe it's just a tender spot because I've gotten fatwa for my troubles. Most multivitamins are crap. Proprietary blends of stuff you don't need. It's not even what's on the label. That's why we created Foundation Daily. Clinically effective ingredients at their clinically effective doses. Vitamins A through zinc, plus curcumin, turmeric, and garlic to help you with some aches and pains. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Plus, you can get a certificate of analysis on every batch sold, so what's on the label is exactly what you're getting. Go to foundationdaily.com to start your subscription today. Foundation. It's a knockout. I don't know about you, but kind of a central tenet of the right was we don't like being told who we are allowed to mock, tease, or espouse opinions on at all. Since I've been here, we aren't the people. We aren't the party, the political movement of we're offended or it's offensive enough that you shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't put mocking Islam in that category out of the many potential sacred cows at all.
And Tucker basically just made a hate speech argument. He defined the mockery of Islam as the mockery of Christianity. He tied those things together in a way I've never seen somebody tie them together, by the way, and say that is him mocking us for being Christians and we can't support that. He preceded that by saying, I voted for him before and I would probably vote for him again if he ran. What the hell are you talking about?
It would be like saying to mock Satanism is to mock Christianity.
Yeah, because
I will tell you this, the closest thing that we have to Satanism in practice is Islam. Just to be f***ing clear. Does that bother you? Just to be f***ing clear, the religion that says Jesus was not divine, the Jews and Christians are liars. And by the way, this new guy with the book who thought he was wrestling with a demon but was convinced it was an angel has a whole new list of rules that violate the old ones and you should follow them. By the way, if you don't, we're going to kill you. To mock Satanism is to mock Christianity. If you want to say, hey, I think this is too costly, fine. If you want to say President Trump hasn't been as good on right now the economy, okay, cool. But to say to mock Islam is to mock Christianity. No one should ever mock anyone's faith. I couldn't disagree more.
If we went through all the episodes of him being on Fox News with his own show for 10 years, you're going to tell me we can't find something that he was where he's mocking?
Many times.
Right?
Many times. You know what it says too? The new
I used
party,
to like him. I'm totally...
The new Marxist right? You're not welcome because of your comedy albums. You've been mighty harsh on Islam a few times. Oh, well, that's evil, Nick.
Yeah.
The jokes are evil. And I understand the president is different from a comedian. That's not lost on me, but that's not what was said.
That's not what he said. Yeah, exactly.
And we do have some more sage wisdom on X. Some of these posts. And here's the thing, too. We provide all our references. Like I said, check them out. 11 a.m. Eastern. That's when we stream. And some of those people, just to be clear, I consider friends. So it doesn't mean that they're bad people. Certainly not all of them. And hopefully we can have, hey, anyone, you're welcome to, if you think that it's unfair. But you do see quite a bit, especially on social media, just flat out lies. And the problem is people, and they're not stupid. If you've believed some of these things, you're not stupid. You just don't have enough time in the day to fact check everything. So a lot of people go, well, why would someone lie about this? That seems obvious. It's cited as a fact, and then you move forward with that as the basis of your belief. Mm-hmm. Case in point, Mario Nafal wrote this. Iran is currently winning this war. They are now making more money from oil sales than they ever did since the 1979 revolution. And they completely control the Strait of Hormuz.
Interesting.
Things are about to get ugly. Here's the truth. In March, Iran made about $140 million a day off of oil. It's a far cry from their peak of $323 million a day in 2011.
Oh, come on.
It was very, very easy to find. Just to be clear. Yeah, about double. And
people just run with it.
And Iran doesn't control the Strait of Hormuz. Their navy's at the bottom of the strait. Everything about that post is wrong, but they felt the need to go out of the way to tell you that the United States is losing the war. Hey, let me ask you, what do you think these people would do if we actually found ourselves in dire straits? Forgive the pun, it wasn't intended.
Yes.
In a conflict. Losing? I've also heard people say we've exhausted all our traditional military resources, so we have to use nukes. I think it was Tucker. What?
Wait, he said that?
Come again. Kim Jong-un would refer to that as retarded. They have this banger from Candace. Again, just going to criticize the actual points. It's very hard to fact-check evidence because none is ever provided.
Ever.
This is a satanic administration. We all realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. So it's a rebrand. She was a liberal, a socialist her whole life, up until and including through the election, then stole the term Blexit from someone else who had created it, profited, and now she's going back. She's going back to let's remove King Trump. Alternative? Please propose it. Please propose it. Because we know they don't want bans. We know they don't want to go down the line succession in this administration. All of our lives may depend on other countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who have convinced him that he is a messiah.
That's
we are
a
in
new one.
Uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. So aligning with leaders outside of the United States is America First, is MAGA. Aligning with faggots from Spain. And ironically,
faggots.
Those, I am not a faggot. We do not pronounce the S. And the UK and socialist nations or places where they jail truckers for speaking out against their government. You call upon them. Those are your allies. You know what else is this implication, satanic. They'll say it's evil. You know what's evil? Gossip. You know what's also evil? False accusations. You make the claim, going to use a nuke, you better have evidence. You make the claim, satanic, you better have evidence. And I'm not even saying that there isn't someone who does a little bloodletting every now and then in their off time. I have no idea. There are a lot of people in administration.
It's a big administration.
But
well, no, she made sure to stick to the point. It's not just satanic; it's satanic Zionist.
I was going to say, boy, did she have a hate on for the Jews.
The land. No, it's this. Listen, you can have your problems. We've talked about that. My God, it's okay to have a conversation about that. But when every single thing that happens in the world goes back to that, you have lost the plot. It's what we used to say on the orange man, bad, idiotic left. And now you have become them.
Wasn't this country
But
founded
they still
on
say that, though.
Christian beliefs? So why is it
They would
such
argue the Judeo part never even happened. And I'm like, listen, I
really?
It's largely Christian, but Jews were some of the other people. Some places you couldn't vote unless you were a Christian. That's true.
No,
but
I understand
yes,
that.
the point remains. Here's what I would do if I was Donald Trump. I'd go, okay, at the end of this war, look, no more $3 billion a year, Israel, because looks like you have quite a few IOUs.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine. I'm fine with it. I don't think we should be sending the money, and I think that AIPAC skirts that line fair. Good. I'm all for it. But to say the administration is satanic, and then you also combine it with the context of defending Islam.
If they're right about that, Trump's working with Bibi and whatnot. It went down like this. Right after October 7th, that horrible day, Bibi called him and goes, look, here's our chance. You've been saying you want the oil since 1988. I saw you on Oprah saying it.
Yes.
Here is our chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm done with these people. I'm going to end them. You can either help. It happens that our interests do intersect in some spots. So what do you say?
And there's a discussion.
Trump
to be
knows
had
a good
about
deal
that.
when he sees it.
It's a geopolitical discussion.
I'm not holding that against him.
Not a satanic one. And if you wonder,
satanic, that's a Democrat.
So world leaders. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but pick a world leader, any world leader. Okay. Their country doesn't have freedom of speech.
Done.
Okay. Pick a world leader, any world leader. Their citizens are not allowed to protect themselves. Pick a world leader. Any world leader, certainly in the Western world. Mass migration, unfettered and open borders. Pick a world leader, any world leader.
The guy in
censorship
Hungary.
for thought. Oh yeah, well, there you go. You can do Orban. But any in the Western world, Europe, any of these other leaders who she would be calling on right now. So you go, so you'd rather align yourself with, because of this issue, that's a geopolitical one, socialists and those who live to censor and control their people. Well, why do you think that it sounds like these people would prefer to align with Marxists, leftists, socialists, Europeans? Well, maybe because of exactly that. Don't take my word for it.
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement.
It's a bold haircut.
The Democratic Republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would say
I've
that.
enjoyed it.
You've enjoyed it. Yeah, so we enjoy it. I love America. You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word socialist with the weight it carries, but Christianity is socialism at its core.
Non-authoritarian.
Do you want to come again, stupid? How do you enforce socialism?
Oh.
Now you could, if you want to go with this and say, yeah, but they're mostly right. The end game, they just told, is socialism. The end game is universal daycare, not women being home in a traditional family. The end game is more socialized healthcare. The end game is Christianity is socialist. The end game is can't criticize Islam. Come on, we're the party of offense. The end game is let's align with other world leaders. They've told you all of that. So the reason that I disagree is because I think America is better than those nations, and I think socialism is bad. I think it's anti-Christian, to be clear. Why? Because we all are fearfully and wonderfully created by God. Yep. But not all men are created equally in ability or proclivity.
He's also illiterate. He needs to read the Bible story again. He needs to read where the husband and wife came in, I think it's Ananias and Sapphira, came in, said they sold a piece of property to give to this communal group, by the way, this communal group of Christians who decided voluntarily to have all things in common. This is such an old argument that's so moronic. And they lied about the price. And they were struck dead by God for deceiving. And what did they say to them when his wife came in or when the husband came in? It wasn't this piece of property yours to do with as you wished, to buy or to sell. That's private property ownership right there. That was not forced. That was
Ten
voluntary.
Commandments.
Read the book.
Don't covet thy neighbor's stuff.
No, it's just
it's everywhere
so
in the
moronic.
Bible. The parable of the talents, by the way. You're supposed to rely on God for your daily bread, not on government, to be clear. Also, when you say not authoritarian, okay, socialism, Marxism, let's really distill this down. Everyone's the same. Some people are going to choose to spend their time in the local tavern. This is what people argued against socialism, used these arguments a long time ago. I'm not new here. And some people would decide to better their situation and become doctors. They're all the same. So if everyone is all the same, who wants to sign up for the shit cleaning job? No one. So how do you get them on board? You will always have a certain subset of people who reject and do not want to live under socialist, under Marxist rule. And so the only way you have to coerce them through violence.
Didn't, capitalism raises all boats?
Yeah, well, they're confusing capitalism and consumerism.
I'm saying
right. Yeah, free
they
enterprise
shouldn't be near each other, Christianity, and I'm just saying capitalism has helped a lot of poor people.
Yeah, and theologically, you eat what you kill. It's the curse of man, just to be clear. You go back, I know a lot of people out there now who claim that they're Christians haven't, you probably would break the binding on their Bible. Just go right to the first story ever, Adam and Eve. What's the curse to man and what's the curse to woman after the fall? Men, you will toil by the sweat of your brow. It means you will seek rest, but you're never going to have it.
That's what bandanas are for.
And what does it say to women? You're going to yearn to be over it, but he will rule over you. You're going to yearn to be a boss babe, but you're still never going to be a man. It says, men, don't be violent and don't screw everything that moves. Women, don't be gossips. It's really clear what your curse is because of our sin separating us from God, and it's really clear what your proclivities are. And instead of fighting that, instead of acknowledging that, socialism embraces that sin and says, we have a way out of it. You can all be equal, and you don't have to toil away for the rest of your life. Let government take care of you. Oh, wait, you guys aren't on board? You go to the gulags. It's never happened any other way. It's not lost on me. Consumerism, I get it. I understand it. I do. You know this. I'm someone who has very little use for things. I am accidentally Robert De Niro in Heat, although I don't think I'd see the heat around the corner, but there's nothing that I couldn't leave in 30 seconds or less. I don't really care about stuff that much. I care about freedom. I care about peace. I like a good meal, a nice beer every now and then. Cerveza, as they say in Spain. But consumerism, yeah, Christians shouldn't seek satisfaction, seek worth, seek purpose in material things. That's not the same as allowing people the freedom of their own pursuits. It is evil to rob men of that because God did not intend for that to be the case. I've tried to avoid, look, because I know that some of you go, I'm kind of back and forth. It's not your fault. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I don't want to insult you. But what I really, really don't want to hear, okay, is 2 or 3 years from now, when we have Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom as president, and wokeism is back, and it will come back, and you are being deplatformed from Twitter, X, YouTube, all this stuff going down, and kids are being trans, and you have boys being filleted in pictorials in the student library,
Where? Oh.
right? I don't want to hear you fucking people fight back and ask people to hit your godforsaken Patreon. Because you are doing this. You are doing it right now, and don't try and pull another rebrand. You said remove Donald Trump. You called upon other world leaders. Hey, you can platform wherever you want. There are certain people you won't platform, but you'll platform people saying Christianity is socialist. I think I know where you line up. Don't want to hear a word from you later on that we need to fight back against the Marxist left, because there has been a wider, more effective coalition in the right in this country than ever in any of our lifetimes. And you are destroying it with no proposed solution. Well, there will be one of two solutions. We continue down this path, improve it, correct it, or undo all of it and say there's no difference.
We'll do Candace's way, the final solution.
Yeah.
Well, no, it would actually, the final. So I'm sorry, just for clarity.
Thanks for stepping on the.
I don't even know.
Listen,
I don't even know if.
What do you think I'm here for, Nick?
Does she believe in the? Does she believe the final solution ever happened? I don't. Candace, you're welcome. Tucker, you're welcome.
You said
you're welcome. Ben Shapiro, you're welcome. Dave Smith has already been on the show. The Christians, you guys are welcome to make your case. Okay, you are cordially invited. I just don't agree. Hey, if you're still watching this, you may be one of these.
What is up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the endlessly edgy Dr. Disaster. And under the reign of Kathleen Kennedy and Disney for the past decade or so, the Star Wars brand has become divisive, corporate, lifeless, and just plain unfun.
And if you have political convictions, keep them to yourself.
That is pretty good advice for companies. Don't try to push real-world politics into your business, and especially don't push real-world, current-day politics into a timeless story like Star Wars, which famously followed the classic storytelling formula of the hero's journey and then turn it into subversive, shit-lip garbage. Doing that made people pretty damned angry at first, but that was not the real danger for a brand like Star Wars. At least if people are angry, that means that they are still talking about the IP.
Hate leads to suffering.
No, as Disney proved during the Skywalker saga, during the episode 7, 8, and 9 run a decade ago, they proved, their PR team did, that they can work with hatred. They can generate articles like this one, stirring up more shit by blaming their failures on sexism or whatever. The real danger to Disney was actually not addressing people's valid criticisms and fixing their problems. They created a situation where eventually people just realized that Star Wars, the Acolyte, that's just what Star Wars is now as a brand. So they don't give a shit any longer. Hatred is not what kills a franchise like Star Wars. Apathy is the true killer. Not caring about the brand is like a lightsaber right to their gullet.
Oh no.
And that is what we have going on these days. Star Wars hasn't had much at all
kind of
that
a
was
funny edit.
universally praised ever since Disney bought it. The best opportunity that they had was with the Mandalorian series. That show had the chance to heal the fan base at least a little bit, but
Yeah, you get 2 seconds here. Yeah, but I gotta snap out of it, wake up a little bit. Fuck, I'm in a weird mood.
Perhaps my next pilgrimage to Olympus Mons will free me from the last of this rebellious flesh.
even that was eventually turned into slop. The firing of Gina Carano for the crime of not being a progressive automaton, that soured a lot of people. The Book of Boba Fett undid the story from the first 2 seasons, setting the future story of The Mandalorian up to be corporate slop, just an excuse to show Grogu on the screen as much as possible so that they could sell more merch. And then the 3rd season came out and it was indeed garbage. But the thing is, the outcry that Star Wars used to get from invested fans who felt betrayed, it just wasn't there. When season 3 of The Mandalorian came out, people rolled their eyes, said, "Here we go again," and they just moved on. And that has obviously manifested itself with the reception to the marketing of The Mandalorian and Grogu film these past several months, culminating in this horrible news here. A poll just came out from Fandango asking people their top 10 most anticipated movies this summer season, and Star Wars failed to even make the top 10 of that list. This is a consequence of not responding to the criticism and refusing to acknowledge who is really in charge when it comes to the relationship between a franchise and its fans.
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Alright, me hearties, you know it is really bad for a franchise when even Ubisoft can dunk on you and call the brand damaged goods. You may remember that is what happened with Star Wars Outlaws. Last year, the CEO of Ubisoft blamed the Star Wars brand for the flop of Star Wars Outlaws, and honestly, I don't think he's really wrong. There are certainly
two things can be true at one time. The brand is damaged and the game was shit.
Will simply watch anything that Star Wars puts out or buy any video game or book or whatever that comes out with the Star Wars name attached to it. Those people do exist, but they have become vanishingly rare over the past few years.
Prestige ones on Lethal? Oh, this is gonna be rough.
Those people long ago when George Lucas was still running the show, but people with that level of loyalty have been filtered out by years of Disney shit-lib slop being shoved into our faces and years of Lucasfilm blaming sexism and racism and all of that other shit for their own retarded storytelling. We have known that enthusiasm for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has been tepid at best for a while now. A half a year ago, they put out their first trailer and people just didn't give a crap. As you can see, the trailer is now at 12 million views. That is roughly on par with the first trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story, which is at 13 million views, and that film infamously was the first Star Wars movie to ever flop, an outcome that was considered unthinkable prior to Disney getting their grubby hands on the IP. And for comparison's sake, the Star Wars film with the lowest view count for a trailer on YouTube, other than Solo, was the Rise of Skywalker teaser trailer, and that thing got 37 million views. There is a massive gulf in enthusiasm where Star Wars used to be and where Star Wars is at now. The Mandalorian and Grogu is likely looking at a box office haul that is much more similar to Solo: A Star Wars Story, less than $500 million, compared to something like what we saw with Rogue One, The Last Jedi, or The Rise of Skywalker, all netting over $1 billion. It is time to face it. Under Disney's stewardship, Star Wars just is not a juggernaut brand any longer. It has become small. And it is with that context in mind that I present to you this article here from the site Hollywood and Toto, which I will link in the description. They talk about this poll here from Fandango, where Star Wars didn't even rank in the top 10 most anticipated movies of the summer season. The article says here, the Star Wars saga is in trouble following a dispiriting sequel trilogy and some less than stellar TV spin-offs. The less said about The Acolyte, the better. The one ray of sunshine from the Disney Star Wars era, the small-screen Mandalorian series. Now, even that story may have worn out its welcome. The show, created by veteran director Jon Favreau, helped make Pedro Pascal a star, introduced us to the cute Yoda-like Grogu, and felt oh so much like classic Star Wars storytelling. Finally, it ran for 3 seasons, the first 2 drawing near universal acclaim. The series made a star out of Gina Carano, the former MMA fighter cast of Cara Dune. Then, Team Disney fired Carano for daring to think outside the Hollywood box. The matter was later settled in courts. The 3rd season lacked the fan intensity that initially greeted the series, and I just want to pause and point out that actually that is a massive understatement. Take a look at the show's Rotten Tomatoes scores. For season 1, fans gave it a sterling 93%, and then in season 2, that was pretty well loved also, getting a 91% from the fans. But then, take a look at the drop-off for season 3. The show stalled out, that's just all there is to it. Disney corporatized the Mandoverse, treating it like a toy catalog with nonsense stories, and they earned a 51%. But, reading on, the article says next, now Disney hopes a big screen version of the show will kickstart the franchise. The Mandalorian and Grogu, out May 22nd, is the first Star Wars film since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. Next year, Star Wars Starfighter graces movie screens starring Ryan Gosling. So far, there's little overt enthusiasm for the new film. Pascal fatigue is real, and the series ended without a full-throated campaign to keep it alive. Should Grogu and company fizzle in theaters, it will be another body blow to the franchise, and if a new Fandango poll is any indication, the anticipation is simply not there. The poll in question asked more than 5,000 moviegoers what summer 2026 titles they were most eager to see. The winner, Toy Story 5, which should be one of the year's top-grossing films, if not the biggest. The annual movie-going trends and insight study found the following 10 must-see movies coming our way, and let's just go down this list of films to see what Star Wars lost to. Toy Story is a huge brand, so its top spot is unsurprising. Same thing with Spider-Man in 2nd place. The Devil Wears Prada is number 3. In a world where Star Wars is not damaged goods, there is no way that they lose to that shit. But number 4 is The Odyssey. Number 5 is the Scary Movie reboot. Number 6 is the live-action Moana that nobody asked for. Number 7 is the new Minions movie. Number 8 is Mortal Kombat 2. Number 9 is Supergirl. And number 10 is Insidious of the Bleeding World. And look, no shade to the Insidious brand, but in the grand scheme of things, who actually gives a crap about another Insidious movie? That is one of those films where most people didn't even know that it was coming out. Basically, what I'm saying is that competition to make it onto this list isn't exactly fierce. There was once a time where Star Wars was feared by other movie studios. They would release their films strategically as far away as possible from Star Wars so that they didn't have to worry about competing. Now, the brand can't even crack the top 10 most anticipated movies of the summer. Star Wars apathy has absolutely set in. I have been saying it for a long time, but I'll say it again. Star Wars is a zombie husk. It is still shambling around, but let's face it, the franchise is dead. The only thing keeping it alive is its reputation and the lingering, die-hard fans. But those people are only drawn in by FOMO, and fear of missing out will only kick in if Disney continues to spend exorbitant sums of money on producing and marketing their movies, and if the box office numbers are strong.
Glass Lion, that is a lovely sentence to read. Glass Lion just wrote, my whole personality used to be getting casually outraged about stuff. But I realized it was, I was doing it and how exhausted it made me. It was draining. Some people do bond over complaining. I mean, we're doing it now. People bond over complaining. There's a human element to bonding over that. A very understandable human element to bonding over a level of complaint. Misery loves company. Hatred gets shared more than anything else does. But sometimes you have to understand that the amount of stuff that you are told... You know something I find draining? Let me tell you a pet peeve of mine. Have you ever had a conversation with someone? That's the pet peeve. That's the whole sentence. It gets more complicated. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you told them about something you dislike? And what they've done is they've gone with the whataboutism. And they've gone, oh, you hate this, well, what about this? And they've mentioned something else. And you're like,
oh my
yeah,
God.
You hate that too. And you're like, well, what about this? And you're like, yeah, you hate that too. Well, what about this? Yeah, that's also bad. What about having a conversation with someone you say, yeah, this is bad. And they go, oh, that's bad, but what about this? By the end of that conversation, all you've done is discovered hundreds of things that you need to be equally angry about. And that's just going to make everyone sad. Because I say to people that you only have a limited amount of hatred, energy per day. Don't just waste it on being angry at absolutely bloody everything. Whenever I have this conversation and I say something like, I mean, I talk about gaming a lot, obviously, and I'll say to people, you know, hey, I'm going to work with this company. And they're like, oh, but don't you hate them because they've done this and this and this and this and this? I'm like, okay, well, now I need to be angry and annoyed, but they've also done this, this, and this. Conversations with some people just end making you feel bad that you aren't annoyed enough. That's what it is. Have you ever had a conversation with someone that has ended and you've almost felt like there's so much stuff that person wants you to be angry at and annoyed at that you just don't have the mental energy, you don't have the bandwidth to be that annoyed? And when I say to someone, people hate it when you turn around and go, okay, you know what, look, at this point, I'm sure that's bad, but I just don't care. They're like, oh, you've got to care. You've got to care. P-Shooter says, then why not address it? Because P-Shooter, what you don't understand is that if you say, hey, I don't like this, and someone goes, well, don't you like this either? It just becomes this endless domino effect of having to be constantly annoyed, constantly angry at everything. And people think that you're heartless when you say, look, I just straight up do not have the energy needed to care deeply about all of these things. It's okay to say that you're going to kind of divide what you do or don't care about. People say not caring is, hang on, no caring is basically supporting. Do you believe that?
In some cases, yes, absolutely.
Bad, I don't care about that. What they hear is, I support that. Human beings have been
It's not that that's what they hear, it's that what it effectively translates to.
Communication now than they ever have in history. And we are expected to be able to emotionally regulate hatred on a global scale. A scale that is absurd, that human beings were just not meant to be able to deal with. We are expected to be able to be aware of every negative thing in the world at any given moment and not let it overwhelm us. We are expected to care deeply about every injustice. And if you don't care as deeply as someone else does about their specific injustice, then you are supporting the injustice. And the truth is, caring that deeply about that many things is just straight up insanity. If you were to sit a human being down and make them aware of absolutely everything going on in the world at all times ever, that person would go mad. And unfortunately, some people are willingly trying to do this to themselves. Which is why I think, as harsh as it sounds, it's okay to pick and choose what you want to spend your limited mental bandwidth caring about. P-Shooter says, Josh, but at some point, do you not want to at least want things to make things better? P-Shooter, what are you hearing when I'm saying that there is a limited amount of stuff you can care about? Genuinely, what are you hearing me say? Because what you've said is, I've said people expect you to care about everything and it's overwhelming. And then you've responded with, but at some point, don't you want to attempt to make things better? Yes, I do.
Is that not a fair question?
I absolutely do want to make things better. But is driving myself insane, caring about everything in the world, actually making things better?
No, objectively
is me
no.
being upset and angry and annoyed actually making things better?
Wait,
Human
but why
beings
does it
were
have to
not
go to the
designed
extreme?
live in such a massive connected culture. We can try, pea shooter, we can try. But you have to understand that the most effective effort is not done on a global scale. It's done on a smaller, focused scale. Individual acts of kindness, individual acts of focus, smaller scale, collective community, groups of processes that we do together. It is about slowly working out what things we can do to efficiently change, not burning ourselves mentally out by worrying about everything at the same time. Choosing
Wait, but I don't think the guy in the
process
chat is
to get
advocating for that
right
either.
Is better than choosing 100 to simply have nightmares about. And so when I say to someone, there are 1,000 things going wrong right now, and I cannot care about all 1,000, but I can care about this, then I will do that. Pea Shooter says, so let's do it. Do you not think we are, Pea Shooter? Do you think I'm sat here saying, it's all worthless, don't even bother? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that worrying about everything at the same time isn't productive. The problem is sometimes I think I don't mind people who are idealistic. I love people who are idealistic. But you need to balance being idealistic and realistic at the same time. Because I think, unfortunately, what I like to encourage people to keep doing it. Okay, Pea Shooter, if someone comes up to you and says they're trying to solve 1,000 problems at once and they're making no progress in all of them, what would your advice be to them? Someone comes up to you and says, look, there's 1,000 things going wrong. I need to fix all of them. I can't fix any of them. I'm overwhelmed. There's too much stuff going on. What are we doing? Would you say to them, choose 1 or 2 things that you can actually fix? Fix things that you can. Try something new or work with others, yeah. But what if that person, Pea Shooter, then turns around to you and says, yeah, but I've got to focus on all 1,000. I've got to do this. I understand that you have this very simple view right now of we must try. I agree, we must try. But just trying isn't enough. We need an actual process. We need an actual idea. We need a plan. And working out what that plan is more beneficial than just hoping. Is worrying about everything being too empathetic? Worrying about everything, if it is hindering your ability to fix things, is of course useless. You don't know what we disagree on. Pea Shooter, what we disagree on is the fact that I find it rather naive that your attitude is just everyone should try and fix everything all the time.
That's
Sounds
not
like
what he
it's coming
said.
From someone who hasn't had to deal with critical situations that require critical thinking. That's a way of looking at it. And people also
Wait,
say,
but that's
till
not
you
what
have
he
kids,
said.
Then you'll know multitasking. Lots of experiences require multitasking, not just having children. I'm sure that having children is a difficult thing to do.
That's a very, very, very fucking bad interpretation of what the guy in this chat was saying.
Tell me exactly how difficult everything is. And they go, oh, when you have kids, it's going to be so much harder, which has made me go,
Like,
okay,
Josh is absolutely doing the thing here where, like, he essentially creates the argument that for the person he's talking to, and then he attacks that argument, despite the fact that the guy in question did not actually make that exact argument. And I kind of hate when people do this. The guy just made a general statement of like, shouldn't you just try? And that was basically it. He never once said, aim for all 1,000. What?
What? I won't have kids. That sounds easier. Every single parent has done their absolute best to tell me why I should never have children, and when I turn around and go, you know what, you're probably right, they all go, oh, but you need to do that, it's so rewarding. Really? You haven't told me that. You haven't sat there and said it's so rewarding. You've told me how
Yes, right. And in this same vein, in this one little rant, all he's done is talk about why it's important not to try and go after every single thing, not to be angry about every little thing. He has not once said why you should go for 1 or 2, like exactly why you should do the opposite. That's why the guy in the chat was kind of grilling him a little bit, because it's like you're only talking about 1/2. We can't go for everything, but you're not advocating for the things you should be going for. He hasn't given one example of something you should be going for. He's just made a generic statement of like only focus on one or two things, but left it as a generic statement. Like he's doing the very thing that he's talking about in this little hypothetical.
Tired and awful everything is. Oh, it's so awful. I'm so tired. Everything's so bad. Everything's multitasking all the time. Everything's terrible. Oh, never have kids. Okay, cool, done. There you go. Simple. They've convinced me not to, and I'm fully on board with that. How do I feel about the social expectation to have kids in order to be successful? When I was a child, every single adult told me that I could grow up and do whatever I wanted. They told me that I could grow up and experience the world. When I was a child, most of the adults in my life were remarkably supportive, and they kept telling me how I was destined for these amazing things and I could do stuff if I put my mind to it, and they would support me. And I was very young and I was very privileged and I was very lucky to have so many people tell me that I could do all this stuff. And when I decided on the stuff that I wanted to do, they were very supportive. But as soon as they realized the stuff I wanted to do involved not having kids, suddenly they got a lot less supportive. And I'm thinking, hang on, no, you can't do this. You can't be there telling me that I can do all of these amazing things. And then when I say, hey, I'm going to go and do all of these amazing things, they turn around and go, yeah, but you really shouldn't.
Not like that.
You really shouldn't do those things. You really should just be having kids. Okay, if you want to have kids, go for it. I don't. I was raised with adults telling me I can go and do all this awesome, cool stuff. And you know what? I kind of believed them. So I said, I'm going to go and do all this awesome, cool stuff. And they're like, yeah, but... yeah, you've got to have kids. You've got to do it. If you want to have kids, you go for it. My bloodline ends with, I was going to say me, but that's not true. I've got a brother. He'll have kids. I'll be a cool uncle. That works. I'm happy to be the cool uncle. It's okay, Josh. You can still change your opinion. You know what's amazing is every time you tell someone something that you have pretty much set, they always go, you'll change your mind. Don't worry. It'll change in the future. As if what they're actually saying to you is, hey, I know you better than you know you. I know you think you want this right now, but you don't. You don't actually want... what you actually want is what I want for you. Not what you want for you. Because you're just foolish and silly. I say, hey, I don't want kids, and someone goes, you will in the future. No, I won't. Oh, but you might. No. Isn't it weird that you don't do it the other way around? If someone goes, I want kids, you don't go, you'll regret having them in the future.
Some people do.
Said that to you. You say it the other way around, it's totally insulting. But it's totally fine to do it this way. I say to someone, you having a baby? They're like, yeah. I'm like, what a terrible choice. Oh, what a terrible... enjoy all of your money and free time now while it lasts. Oh, I'll text you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm doing nothing and you're busy changing nappies. Oh, then you'll regret it. People seem to have this idea that if you say I don't want to do this, it's fine for them to turn around and go, you'll change your mind in the future. Even if I do, I find it really, really patronizing. That's the first thing that you come back with instead of just, that's your choice. Excellent. Good. I'm glad that you've chosen that. Hi, Josh. Thinking of starting a teaching assistant position. Congratulations. Little unconventional, need the help. Any tips for creating comfortable classroom learning environments? The children want structure. Children want structure and they want to be respected, but not worshipped or bowed down to. How you treat the children will tell them how they treat you. If you treat them with a level of directness, a level of respect that is not sycophantic, a level of understanding, and a level of expectations that themselves have consequences, and very, very, very importantly, if you make a mistake, admit it. That does not make you look weak, it makes you look human and real. Many people don't know how to say it, but they think you would be a good parent, which is why they insist on it. I think I would be an amazing parent if, this is important, I wanted to be, which I don't. I think if I was able to say I'm going to dedicate myself to fatherhood, I think I would be good at it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to give up the things in my life that I would be required to give up to be a good father, which is why I know that if I wanted to do that, I would end up missing and resenting aspects of that. And so I would simply rather not put myself in that position. And if people want to turn around and call me heartless for whatever reason for that, that's fine, they're welcome to say that. But I would rather do what I know I'm going to be good at. Because the alternate choice is that I follow what the society tells me that it needs and wants from me. And they end up not doing the best thing for any kind of possible child.
On
some level, I am.
They got us.
I know that. I know that I want my free time. I know that I want stuff to do. I want games to play. And the fact that I know that and admit that and I'm comfortable with that means that I need to work out what I'm going to spend my time doing. What would you have to give up if you had kids? Time and money, both of which I like having. I think it would be difficult of me to spend 12 hours playing World of Warcraft a day. I think it would be difficult of me to be able to leave the house whenever I wanted to. I think it would be difficult of me to decide to travel internationally if I wanted to. I would lose a great deal of freedom within the day-to-day that I was having. And I simply look at that and go, I don't want to give that up. And if people say that's selfish, that's fine. When I was a child, people told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. And this is what I want to do. And so I am doing this.
There is a slight tinge, a very slight tinge of immaturity in that mindset and approach. Of saying, I was told this when I was in my informative years, so I am just going to be completely immovable and think this for the rest of my life. It's actually kind of surprisingly telling from a guy who seems to be like very well thought out and very well spoken on a number of different subjects, that he kind of has this oddly placed position that he seems to be completely immovable on. And this is kind of the hill he's chosen to die on, which is completely his choice. But he's absolutely right about that. That's entirely his choice, and he's not even remotely wrong for feeling how he feels. It's the foundation that position is laid on that's a little bit weird. Where it's like, I was told, it's like almost like saying, like, I was told that Santa Claus was real when I was a kid, so I'm just gonna go the rest of my life believing that he's real. It's like, that's okay. Sure.
Okay, well, I guess all I want to say is I really appreciate the commentary and enjoy the streams, and if I misunderstood any of it, I'll give them clarification. The problem is, P, that what I've said was people should care less about stuff if it overwhelms them.
Also, this also kind of ties into the people can care less sentiment. Is because it's all coming from, so this actually makes a little more sense now. The people should care less sentiment is now coming from a place of somebody who doesn't want to give up anything that he holds valuable. But he doesn't want to make any sacrifices. So it kind of makes sense that he would also have that position of, we can't afford to care about 1,000 things because we have like but so much time to care about like whatever we want to care about. Again, it's like, I don't want to give up anything that I care about for like any kind of bigger pictures of anything. I just kind of want to do what I want to do, which is fine. Like that's he's entitled to have that approach with everything, just like anybody else's. Just doesn't make it like, you know, wise or logical. I don't want to say right because there is no right.
The first input was so people just shouldn't care. You've gone to the other extreme of the argument. People often jump in with, so what you're saying is, and then like a disingenuous version of what I've said. Best teachers, I mean,
he kind of did that too, though.
They're teaching absolutely spot on.
You kind of did that too, though. The guy was literally just saying, the guy literally retorted, should we not try, though? And you took it to the other extreme of saying that he was implying that he should try for 1,000 things at the same time. Like, you literally did the exact thing that you're claiming that he's doing. But I don't know, man. People are not as perceptive as they think when they say these things. It's just one of those things I kind of wish people were more careful about, like, their words when they chose to use them in real time.
If you say this thing, people will, they'll come out. It's true. And then people immediately attack me straight away. This is harder than I would think to just be nice. P, you're well-intentioned. What you have to understand is that I have thousands of people every day coming at me with just a little bit of, but what about this? Yeah,
sure, but he didn't do that, so how is that his problem?
But so what you're saying is this. But maybe you should do that instead. But okay, so maybe we should just try.
Oh shit! Wow, I just got 2 taps. That's crazy.
Thousands of people every day with just a little bit of input of, yeah, but have you considered this? But have you done that? But have you done that? Imagine having the same conversation thousands of times a day. And every time you say something of, hey guys, maybe we actually care about too much stuff, someone comes at you with, yeah, but maybe we need to care about this much stuff. Maybe we should just fix things. Maybe we should support things. Yes, I have considered that. And what I'm saying is,
and the interesting thing is, you see a bunch of people who don't have like thoughts of their own kind of commenting on this, which essentially they just wanted to have their own thoughts validated by hearing somebody on a bigger platform say the same thing, which also I think is normal too, but it's concerning. I didn't think I was going to get two tapped the way that I did. That was actually kind of nuts. That's unfortunate, man. For showing me it's okay not to worry about everything at once and actually use energy on stuff I can actually change. Like, that part's fine. You'll be happier the less you care about things you have zero effect on. It's debatable. That's great. Oh, GG's, boys. I think that one's on me for going down. I think like the entire run was basically dependent on me not going down at all, and I did, and we lost. So that one's on me. Fucking Rusty. All right, I'm out. Not into it right now.